All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready with game number 1 between VortiX and Mr. B. So these two, as we heard Lucifron saying that he believes his brother will do it, but B, he started off with a pretty strong civilization here already. China, now of course Byzantines, a civ that usually gets picked or banned pretty quickly. So I'm kind of excited to see how this plays out because, again, as I mentioned before, I think that Byzantines is a civ that you need to shut down in Dark Age to not get them to run away with the match quickly. But yeah, China is not really one of those civs.
Yes, indeed. I'm very glad to be here. Yet another great series in front of us, ahead of us right now. And VortiX sent different than what Corvinus did earlier today. He sent 3 villagers out on the stone here. And I'm kind of quite surprised that we're seeing Byzantines for the second time on this map specifically, because that's a really far away stone. That's like considerably far away. And still, we're there. And B is just doing the Chinese things. He's aging up at Imperial Academy quite fast. I would expect this to be a lot of archers gonna be happening, considering the berries are kind of exposed from VortiX. And maybe professional scouts or not. Let's see. We're about to find out, and we can speed up the early game. That kind of feels good.
Yes,
right now.
We have to catch up with the live game.
Say.
These guys are aggressive and fast, so we're trying to catch up with the live one, guys.
Yeah.
So we'll be back to normal in a little while. So we're just gonna make sure that the early game is something we can glide through. Hope you enjoy.
And we see Grand Winery coming up from VortiX, and let's keep up with them, with the game. And B, did he drop any production buildings yet, or is he just doing his macro a little bit more, adding more Imperial officials, as you do with the Chinese, gathering tax and getting... Oh, he's not going for professional scouts.
No, it
Or
makes
does he?
sense.
Oh, he does. Because he went for the wood upgrade first.
But
Or did he already? Okay.
you get to go for responsible professional scouts. That's one thing we've been seeing out of a lot of players. They don't go for professional scouts instantly. Now, of course, he went for double broadaxe, but going for a stable is actually something where you are making your opponent react to something they feel like they need to respond to, but you can easily transition out of that. And we already see B has made 3 horsemen. He's stopping and he's looking at pro scouts right now.
Yep.
He's like, I've got the resources, we might as well do it. Because this is already telling your opponent, I'm not going pro scouts, I'm just going to be aggressive, so you better make units. Just allowing you to pick up everything you want.
Yeah, definitely. And now he has resources for professional scouts and queuing up scouts and the professional scouts themselves. This could maybe mean like he could steal 1 or 2 deer as well from the other side, but I wouldn't probably see that happening because it's gonna be very slow and you get less food from your first drop off. And now he's making his way towards that stone. So opening horseman here, I think for this map it also makes more sense, as you said, because he not only pushed VortiX out of... Oh, that's a little harassed, but shouldn't be killing any villager. Oh, that's a nice micro, baiting the Limitani with his scout. Out multitasking VortiX, that's not something you see every day, and that's B is one of those players that can make it happen. That was really well played, and taking down 1 villager early on in the game, it's a huge impact. And we see longbows are coming up from VortiX next. He also pushed him out of stone. That's what I was trying to finish my thought there on this map, because the stone, as we talked about it, is really far away. And he has 5 scouts professionally scouting. Actually 4 of them. 1 of them is at the front. And Limitani and longbows for VortiX right now. Now VortiX is a type of a player that I would expect to make as stables as well right now.
Oh, and that's Sassy.
Yeah.
Are you inside VortiX's head right now?
Well, No, I got beaten by VortiX a lot of times, so you
You
know
have
I have
trauma.
some experience. I have some experience losing against them, having lost against B yesterday myself. So you know I know a thing or two. Come on.
Mm. But now, when you're faced against this amount of horses, do you feel like
Yeah.
he needs to react to it as if this is the strategy, or is Vortex someone who's going to know, hey, this might just be an aggressive feign? I was asking that, and then I saw him queue up 5 horses, and I know exactly what he's thinking. He's like, I need to push. I'm Byzantines. I have this ability. I can shut down these units. Let me be
Yeah.
the aggressor instead. Because, of course,
Yeah.
with China, you have the choice of going for a faster castle with you having access to all these taxes. And we can see there's a lot of taxes laying around. So this is something he can easily make the choice of. But now, with Vortex forcing him to fight in feudal, this isn't as easy for B to do.
Well, B actually is not going for any like castle age or like quick castle age with the tax income and stuff. He's adding another stable, and he kept making some more horsemen. And VortiX is defending his forward berry spot right now. He finished the first ones already, and this I'm kind of almost concerned for B because he saw the horseman switch, or horseman addition, not a switch, coming in from VortiX, but he kept this was his decision not to go for like lancers or maybe to get veteran archers. He feels confident in this, and maybe rightfully so, because VortiX wasn't really adding more Limitani. Now that seeing more horsemen crossing the field, he's queuing up more Limitani now, and he will be reaching for 15 longbows soon. And if B wants to fight him, he needs to do it early, because otherwise there will be not 10 but 15 longbows. It's going to be almost too much to handle for the horsemen as well. But B knows his time is probably right, and is going to push VortiX, or looking to push VortiX off this berry position here. Now the horsemen are making their way in, and archers are sniping Limitani one by one. Longbows, on the other hand, trying to get rid of the archers as well. Oh,
But
that's a micro battle there.
And B is absolutely teaching Vortex a lesson in the micro battle, because he focused fired so
Yeah.
well with every single one of this, and shutting down the scout here as well is actually pretty massive, because Vortex, he needs that scout. And I mean, a lot of people need a scout, right? But you need it when you're playing B. B is on a completely different dimension when it comes to you needing visibility. A lot of players play standard, you can already understand what to be expecting of them, but not this man. And I feel like B, investing with all this extra food, he is very happy fighting this in feudal, and
Yeah.
I don't think Vortex has the units to answer to this at all.
I don't think he has, or neither he expected, because he added his own horsemen, but suddenly B with the double stable there and maybe some supervision, he just has 24 horsemen. That's a lot of food and a lot of units, and that's more than enough to deal with Limitani and the longbows. Some of them are catching the longbows down, and this is going to be a full rout by VortiX, and he's even pulling the villagers with Akritoy defense, trying to get rid of these horsemen numbers. There's more longbows coming in, but what can they do against all these horsemen without Limitani? Sport B has enough of anything that he needs, and looking to jump on those longbows. This could be a quick game here, and he's just trapping those longbows in. Oh my god, that's a lot of longbows just going down, and B just cleaning him up. It's only 8 military left on the field, and no more berries, no more oil coming in for VortiX there. And this is beautifully played by B. And yeah, he just cleaned everything up, and now he's free to do anything he wants.
And
Well,
Vortex,
winning the game.
Yeah. B says, I want to come to Serbia as well, brother. So you see, the nice thing for someone like B is he's from Russia, right? And we live in a country where the land will be where nobody needs a visa, or almost nobody needs a visa. Poor Tommy, our admin, needs a visa. But aside from that, nobody needs a visa. So this is a tournament that you can qualify for, and you are definitely going to be able to attend without having any worries. So B, This is it. For him, this is the quick one you want to qualify for and go in. So, yes, guys, that is what happens if you usually have lands in the EU countries. Now, we're already ready with game 2, so we are starting to catch up to them. So, we are gonna hop right in, but you guys can already see the next matchup. It's going to be Mongols versus Tuklak. And honestly, I am so ready for this, because if there's one thing I love seeing, it's the Mongols rushing, but I want to see the Mongols not being able to rush. So I need healer elephants, I need a lot of shenanigans, but especially on a map like this, where it's all about decision making. So guys, let's hop on in.
Let's go. Without wasting any time, we're on Frisian Marshes. B playing with the Mongols. He has shown he's on his day with the first game so far. And I've seen B playing the Mongols here a lot. And on the other hand, I've seen Tuklak being played here. Not necessarily VortiX. And I think it is very scary. I played some hybrid games as Mongols against Tuklak Dynasty. And I will say, I expect this one to go in the way of VortiX. That's my prediction already, okay? I'll be bold, and I will just expect him to win. Although, he's against B, and I think he's very comfortable playing Mongols here. He does use the Keshiks and this town center placement very well here, and he's also having, I think, a dock he dropped. Plus, he can also drop some spearmen maybe after this dock to harass and prevent any further docks from happening from VortiX, or maybe he will just go for some Keshiks himself. We will find out soon. And VortiX already has 2 fishing boats, just 1 extra, and that 5% extra resources from the start. That's great. And honestly, I don't know how the fishing boats are allowed to drop 5% more off, but we'll just let it slide for this time.
Sassy, when you are already playing a civilization like the Tuklak, where I feel like most of their victories are from cheesing, then I feel like they need something. Give them that. But what I really love about both these civilizations is we see Dark Age aggression after that first dock. And I was going to comment on the fact that we don't see any Dark Aging from B, and he's just going for his dock, but no, this was just me being bamboozled, as both these guys are going for their spearmen now. And yes, we are getting the villager denied from building that second dock with the Khan being out there, but now it's the micro battle, and it's spear versus spear. VortiX cannot overcommit here. This is way too dangerous.
It is indeed, and B, it's all about preventing more docks here, because he's not going to be killing or burning down any docks or fishing boats from VortiX, because they can fire back. They're Delhi variant, so Tuklak Dynasty's fishing boats are able to shoot some tiny little arrows that can hurt tiny little spearmen in Dark Age. So B was using the Han very effectively there, preventing or delaying the second dock from happening, and successfully defending his own side using the stone bonus. And maybe that villager is in dangerous places. The Han is looking to hurt, but are being met by Scout and the Spearmen. And VortiX is taking much more damage than he would like to have probably with these Spearmen. 1 Spearman, the first Spearman, I think, going down. Oh, the Han just dead. GG.
Losing the Khan at this stage feels so tough, because that poke was exactly what you needed. The sheep, though, not getting converted. And this is something I never understood, Sass. What is happening with the sheep? Because the scout was on top of them. Is there just like a little cooldown where your Khan dies?
If there are units around, you cannot convert them, from what I know.
The units
or
the
if they're tied to a building, or if there's like if there are units around it. One little fun fact: if you have units around the sheep that are just walking, not being like herded to something like scout or building, they just start running when they do that. If they're like close to a building or something, if you have a unit near your sheep, they walk faster.
The sheep?
Yeah, the sheep walks faster if you have a unit around it. It's crazy that they made it, I think. It's not like being herded, you know, like they're not running. I mean, walking a little bit faster, so they have like 3 different speeds, not just 2.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't sound very much intended. Now, I see...
I think I don't know. I'm not sure why it is a thing, but it is a thing.
So, I see the questions in the chat about the UI. Why does it not show VortiX finishing the boats? So, you guys, the fishing boats unfortunately count as military units here. So, with the fishing boats being a little bit spicier as they can shoot, this just means that they count as a military building. But both of the players now hitting their feudal, and we can see VortiX is still docking.
An archer ship is it gonna be in time to defend that dock? I think the dock is gonna be burnt down. The archer ship is in time, but it's 15 HP and then just taken down. Was that worth it for VortiX? I think it is, because it's gonna be idling them as well. B will have to pull another villager and make another dock again. I think that's worth it. You're okay throwing away some spearmen, and now we see you wanted some healer elephants, and VortiX is delivering. We're having the second healer elephant in queue, and I think at this point it's kind of quite hard for Mongols to deal with this, because they're already spearmen on the field. Healer elephants are on the field to defend this gold spot, and
ooh, and he got a villager kill. B sacrificing the villager for the cause, but I don't think that was intentional at all. With these healer elephants behind this, though, we know that something that I always question by myself is, how does this look in a comp? Now, we know that with the additional damage we get from having spears in the surrounding, that means that these guys actually have a use, even though they're still very, very early stages and not being reproduced. But the spearman from B also gets himself a nice little victim. The Khan running around trying to do a little bit of damage, but of course he is just a lone little Khan and not going to be able to do much against these spicy little fishing boats. Now B standing in position here to burn down the dock, but VortiX is a little surprise for him. The Kashyyyks though, the Kashyyyks are a little bit more dangerous. Oh, never mind.
Oh.
Not at all.
That's too much. That's too much healing for 2 Kashyyyks. I think that you can't do much against 2 healer elephants at this stage in the game. You definitely need some archers to start one-shotting some things, and this is where it gets tricky in my opinion, because they Tughlaq Dynasty just arguably has better economy than the Mongols, and you kind of need to wait your some time to do some damage because of healer elephants, because now he has more docks. I think it's 10 fishing boats to 6, and on top of that he has the 5% return and like wood gathering like Knights Templar as well. So yeah, it's pretty rough for Mongols at this point. Oh, that's a nice pick off from Raider Elephant, but it will make its way back and be healed later.
And the problem is, he will be healed quickly. These healer elephants are fantastic at keeping these alive. I said that and I feel like I just cursed that poor elephant, but the elephant makes it out alive. And the healer elephants are standing at the ready to heal their fellow elephanto up to full. Now, with the scout might just die pretty soon. Never mind. I feel like I'm just cursing. I can't. Sassy, make me stop making calls. But these elephants are... And guys, by the way, I know I'm too speeding every now and again because I have a secondary observer PC that is a little bit more live. So I'm trying to get both of them at the same time so I can give you guys picture in picture. But right now, these Kashyyyks, they are the ones looking for some real damage.
Yeah, now the Kashyyyk numbers are starting to increase very rapidly, and VortiX has only 4 spearmen on the demo ship.
Never mind.
It could be huge. It could be huge, but the healer elephants will be just taken care of. 1 raider elephant goes down. That's very nice. B is making an archer ship this time to hold that dock in place. That's only 4 spearmen. I don't think that is great for VortiX, even with healer elephants, but B just left the spot and is looking for his own damage on VortiX's side of the map with own Kashyyyks himself. He's bypassing the dock. He's directly heading towards the gold there, where VortiX already has some units. The archer ship is out, doing a lot of damage on these archers. The dock is burning down. Is there any villager to repair it? B is met by defensive units on the gold, and he's not able to find his own damage. And the dock keeps burning down. I don't see any green dots coming over to repair
never
it.
mind. Those are just archers.
Yeah. Oh.
Sacrificial villager. No, never mind. He's just running for something else. See,
Oh,
this is...
from the right? Right.
Oh, you're a villager.
Is it gonna be in time? No.
Unfortunately for him, no saving the day just yet. And the Keshiks now, though, this is a pretty heavy amount. The problem is just, there's 7 spears and a bunch of elephants that they are not really made to fight against. The archer numbers from VortiX, he's slowing down a bit with these. As we see, he's cooking something a little bit more spicy. He is cooking himself a nice little castle. So going for castle age in this position, that feels pretty fine. You've got the spears. You are ready to defend most things. So this pretty scary army is gonna be supported by a ton of healer elephants that don't mind a bit of a Keshik raid on top of them.
Indeed, and suddenly you just look away for a minute, and Tulak Dynasty is reaching castle age when they have the docks up and running, thanks to their economy. And like, not only just reaching castle age, he did a lot of damage, to be fair, but it's crazy how fast that they can get to castle age. And not only that, he will be upgrading his units, mainly the archers, very fast, and will get access to lancers himself. And B is also going castle age, but I really like VortiX's spot here, and maybe the cash. Ooh, the demo attack on the Keshiks.
And he gets a ship.
Fishing boat.
That's the MVP boat, ladies and gentlemen. The MVP boat taking down anything and everyone. When VortiX, even though he's the one aging up to castle, he's the one pushing out, and that's just because Tuckluck. Brought to you by Tuckluck, 5-second upgrades, and these veteran archers are gonna hit like trucks against these very feudal age Keshiks. So going forward, but B is the one who's also aging up at the same time. The problem is just, with him aging up, his upgrades take a little bit longer to get there.
Does he have enough time? The cruelty will go up, plus you need a minute to upgrade the archers, and only 30 seconds for Keshiks, but you need a full minute to upgrade those archers, and VortiX is just pulling forward his units with some Keshiks there, catching some healer elephant there, trapping it down and killing it successfully. But that's veteran raider elephants with veteran archers, and they're just coming in, and what is there to kill the raider elephants there in the base B? The Keshiks are out of position. The town center is defending against the archers right now. VortiX, I think he doesn't want to be caught out of position or get surprised, so he's trying to cut off the Keshiks there with his own raider elephants. That's going to be pretty scary. The Keshiks are veterans now. They will be charging on the raider elephants and maybe trying to pass through. The trample is coming in. They're doing damage to everything around them right now. The one archer just disappeared suddenly, met by the raider elephants, and now the full dive will be happening. The archer upgrade is still 30 seconds away for B, and this is going to be a really tough hold for him. The Keshiks are trying their best, and the archers on archer action, and there is nothing taking care of the raider elephants right now, and there is some sneaky spearmen taking a lot of HP away from the Keshiks with cruelty. Even with cruelty, it's looking like maybe not enough, but Keshiks are doing quick work of those raider elephants. This can be a hold by B, and the town center is helping a lot with those archers, taking them down, negating the healing bonus that VortiX has there, and that's a very nice, impressive hold for B.
Now, losing another healer feels tragic, but behind this, VortiX is floating a lot of resources. So I'm expecting him to do a bit of a transition. Let's take a quick look to see what he's planning. Already setting up his houses to get himself a nice little fort here as well. But you have to keep in mind, even though B just killed a ton of units, it's just because of VortiX's overcommitment. So behind this, he should be able to sit back, heal back up, and wait for that war elephant to start doing the work. Now, behind this, it does feel like B is going to be able to land some damage if he commits to this, but again, it's so risky to commit because if you're the one losing this, elephants, they dive a little bit better than Keshiks do.
Well, they do, but I don't know why he wouldn't. Oh, the elephant just in time coming out of that stables and instantly killing a Keshik there, and he holds his bomb base after the attack that just happened. I don't know why he didn't go for his own lancers, honestly, because people always talk about like archers with Kurultai. They're like super good. They do a lot of damage. Obviously, like they get very strong with Kurultai, but Keshiks as well. That's what was holding the line for B there under the town center. They also get a lot of damage, and maybe even more than the archers at that point. And now, going for the War Elephant, VortiX kind of gave up the map control to B for a bit. Because elephants are kind of fat and slow.
Hey, Sassy.
I'm sorry.
Calm down. He might be able to get some special upgrades to make them run faster. Or did he already get it? He may have already gotten it. Those elephants, you can't just call them slow. Yeah, these guys, they run like speed, just not like Keshiks. Okay, we counted the legs were even, but the thickness of the legs, apparently, it did matter. But one of these villagers, very spicy all the way out here. Now, what I'm a little bit concerned here with is VortiX is doing a pretty good job at slow transitioning into these. I was about to say VortiX is the only one doing that, but no, he is also being responsible about this. He is making sure that the food is extended by going out onto the lakes and just now making sure that that dock comes up and capitalizing on every single bit of it. Because usually in the later stages of the game, you get to a point where things spiral out of control, and the thing holding everything together is usually that little bit of food. Now, VortiX, he's still also out on the map, doing what he can, but it feels pretty surprising how confident he is, pushing into a Kurultai Mongols.
Well, Kurultai Mongols, but that's not just one elephant, right? You need to have a lot of crossbows to start one-shotting them, but the Keshiks are on point. There are 7 crossbows. They're targeting down the War Elephants, but the War Elephants are too much for those Keshiks. Whereas the Keshiks and crossbows are getting targeted by both Raider Elephants and the archers, and there's nothing that can deal with the War Elephants. They're three War Elephants just killing everything. There's so many Keshiks are on the ground, and the archers are dying one by one, and the crossbows, they're non-existent here anymore, and there is nothing stopping this elephant army from Tuluk Dynasty right now from Mongol side. Even with Kurultai, it's just too much to handle for Mongols right now, and the Kurultai is deserted. There are no more units around it. B is running with a lot of villagers across the map for some extra gold. Maybe he's trying to make some things happen with these Keshiks, catching some archers out of position. But elephants, although they're slow, they're making it there just in time to defend those archers. And as long as the crossbows are getting sniped and there aren't like 20 crossbows, there's nothing stopping these elephants anytime soon. And VortiX keeps adding not only War Elephants and Raider Elephants too.
See, the problem now is you get to this awkward position where you are outside your base and your opponent is the one with cavalry everywhere. These elephants just absolutely snacking on the Kurultai, but the archers standing at the ready to snipe anything that dares a look at their little raider elephants. Now, we do have a raider who barely knows her, but is going straight for this poor relic carrying shaman. Shaman screaming to the lords, praying, hoping for a conversion. And will this be the first Mongol? No, it will not be the first Mongol elephant. Rest in pieces.
Oh, wait, why Mongols don't have elephants, by the way? I think they would be very capable of getting some elephants.
Sassy, I
think Khaganate Palace should spawn some elephants.
Okay, Twitch chat, I need all of you to please make a Reddit post about this. Let's get Mongols some elephants for Khaganate Palace. That's exactly what we need to make sure that Mongols is balanced again. Sassy, they've got everything. They've got Quick Pals. What more do you need? Elephants.
Well, we need elephants. Maybe they will help. This looks very rough for Mongols, as I kind of expected it to be. Not trying to take any credit, but very well played by VortiX. And it's just very hard to deal with. From the Dark Age, I think VortiX looked like he was in control of this game and just keeps pushing onwards into B's base, and B's trying his best with these Keshiks, maneuvering around, trying to pick up any units, getting any value out of them as much as possible. But the income, you can see the collected resources, the gap is widening there, and army value is more than double for VortiX.
VortiX is looking like an elephant king right now, just conquering all of the lands, and this is maybe why we see Tukluk being banned on maps like this. So we've seen time and time again, people are sniping out on this map, Tukluk, again and again. And my biggest question is, what did B snipe out where he was like, you know, give me Tukluk.
Yeah.
I want to fight this. So I'm gonna hope my admin gives me a little holla in the chat and tell me exactly what B said is worse than Tukluk. So guys, we can make that YouTube guide and you know exactly what to face on a map like this. But in this case, VortiX, he's just looking at ending this. You can see with all of his units right under the TC, he is not worried about anything. These archers are killing anything and everything in front of him. And he's got the sacred sites on top of this as well. Elephants now trying to seal the deal, stomping that ground, villagers in shambles, running for their lives, and quickly just falling one by one to the hands or the feet of the elephants.
HRE got sniped for VortiX, by the way, so B thought that, well, you know what, I think HRE is more than, well, we don't know what B had, like, maybe he didn't want to run into HRE and something else, we don't really know, and Macedonia got sniped by B, so maybe he didn't want to run into Macedonians against
No.
That was so close. That
you should have called
so
it sassy. You would have cursed him. We needed it.
Yeah, next time. I'll try next time.
Okay. Well, B, he's trying to give it this all. This is the final part of the game where he gets to make the change, but the crossbow numbers just getting picked off so quickly by VortiX, and VortiX, he secures it. Game number 2, going over to Mr. VortiX, and rather convincingly. To be fair, Tukluk was used. It's acceptable. Mongols also very formidable on this map. But we do have our next matchup ready. And guys, Delhi against Golden Horde. I have no idea how this plays out. And this is why we have our pro player on the board to tell us exactly what I don't know and what he knows perfectly. Right? You know perfectly.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I don't know everything perfectly, even though you just called me a pro player, but yeah. So I like this a lot for Golden Horde, especially on map like this. I think they can compete very well against Delhi. And the biggest problem for Delhi I see in this matchup is the Torguts. I think they're very strong fighting against the Delhi units because they can survive for a very long time, and extra armor helps a lot more. Well, the armor helps because Ghazi attack speed is kind of lower, so it kind of does a bit more work in that way. And okay, we're live.
You can keep yapping. You can keep yapping. I'm going through it. I'm not interrupting.
So the thing is, not only Torguts, you will also still have access to Keshiks, right? And Keshiks do very well into Ghazi raiders. The problem with Mongols is that you cannot roll, and like the Mongols work a lot more different than Delhi. Than Golden Horde into Delhi. So I like this a lot more for Golden Horde. It just feels like better version of Mongols playing against Delhi to me whenever I played it, and yeah, and longer the game goes, you don't fall behind, and it gets better for you as Golden Horde, like comparing it to Mongols, because they have similar units. Some of them are the same. So I really like it for Golden Horde here. And I would favor it just a little bit. Oh yes, finally,
cards. Yes,
building cards.
Okay, guys, put that on the bingo card. We're finally getting some building cards in here. Now, Sass, I do want to interrupt before we get too deep into the game as well. And guys, I want to just take a second to highlight that our prize pool has been increased by $5,750 actually. So this does mean that we're hitting above that 20k. And with the time going on, we're hoping that we get enough donations to make that even more worth it for the players. So hopefully for us, this means that even more players will want to qualify, because it will pay off. But guys, building carts turned into 2 barracks, a very early stockyard for Mr. B as well. And yeah, I'm excited to see how this plays out against Delhi, because of course Delhi goes for the natural archer follow-up, right? But double barracks? Is he committed to just making lots of spears and overwhelming his opponent?
Well, I wouldn't expect to overwhelm the opponent in village by only spears, but he can delay a lot of sacred sites, for a very long time, and he's defending successfully with these spears. This position where he wants to drop a fortified outpost, and Han also sacrificing some of the HP as it can be protected by Torgut soon. They'll be out. And the thing is, you already have a stable. That's how you can consider yourself as Golden Horde. So that's what I really like about this. Because you get a Han and you get some heavy cavalry into Ghazi Raiders, which are very heavy cavalry, and you can be very flexible with Golden Horde playing in the feudal age against Delhi. So that's why one of the main reasons I really like this for Golden Horde, and I really like the building cards as well, because the spearman charge, almost getting one Ghazi Raider and chasing them away from the Sovo. And VortiX already moving forward with the 2 of the scholars, but is this too early? Is this too optimistic for him?
Definitely.
He has only 1 archer against 6 spearmen. That's going to be 8 soon, and there's 2 Torguds already. I don't think only Ghazi Raiders are going to be holding those scholars alive for a while. And things are moving very fast in this game so far, as building cards are really good. I really like them.
See, the problem is, when you're up against a player like B, he knows exactly what to hit. He knows you are going to be sending your reinforcements forward. So of course, that's exactly where I'm going to hit. Sure, your Ghazis are causing some havoc, but let me deal with the units that are actually going to be a threat to me. Quickly going for the archers. Now, of course, luckily VortiX is pretty 5-head, and he's already ready to react.
Can get
Gets
trapped.
A beautiful
No.
trap. That was not good for B. He losing both of those is massive. And the spear numbers, they're still scary, but it looks like he's pretty stuck here right now. Going for Keshiks instead. Says this might be the answer to dealing with the archers. And it makes sense. Keshiks, they do hit harder. They do fly around a little better. And even though they don't protect the Khan as much, they do have their use. Especially when it comes to shutting down a Civ that loves to be left alone. Because you can see those berries, they just expired. And oh, after that trade, I don't see VortiX not moving out on this map.
Indeed. Maybe... Oh, he's going for the berries at the forward. But I think he wants to professional scouts in the tier later on. And B is denying 1 sacred site right now. That Torwood loss was massive for B, but nothing unmanageable, I would say. And Keshiks, on addition to the Torguds, they will counter anything that VortiX has right now on the field. You have to have spearmen against them, or you have to have like 30-40 archers, but then Torguds come in there very handy, because they are they're very big HP, like 220 HP. That's a lot, and that's really good. They have still 3 armor, and they do damage because they survive a lot longer, and they help Keshiks too by soaking up some damage. So the Keshiks, even though they're like hurt throughout the fight, they can heal later on because Torguds are tanking for them. So that kind of fits very well into the Keshik composition. Now B is can be more brave on the middle of the map. VortiX is only holding 2 sacred sites right now. And I think he's adding scouts now to start professional scouting. And I don't think he's respecting the Keshiks enough.
He's thinking, okay, I just need more archers. I have the Ghazis. technically they counter heavy cavalry. He's got an army of heavy cavalry. I should have this. So adding those spears in now from the single barracks, hoping that this is going to be enough. But like you said, this is still something he's invested a lot into before actually starting to respect it. Now, with the Ghazi's healing up, this does feel quite all right. You don't mind too much taking a little bit of damage, but the engagement about to go down. Archers just saying, hey, don't be too committed to this just yet. But both of them getting +1 ranged armor and +1 attack. VortiX is definitely planning on making more archers between all of this.
Yeah, definitely. He likes playing with the triple composition, as we would call it, and now he's bringing in some deer already and trying to decap, but they will be met by the Ghazis. Needs to be very careful. Nicely played by both players there, and still trying to decap, trying to slow it down, and some sacred side capture is happening up there in the north sacred side. Now B is moving towards that area. This can be a big raid. I think he's looking to kill some scouts and slow down this professional scouts from happening. But the Ghazis are fast, and they're considerably faster than all the Keshiks and Torguts, since they're heavy cavalry. One scout goes down, so they can get trapped, or Wards can jump on this army. That's such just in time. 1 second away from that sacred side being captured, and he needs to run away now. The raid is happening on the wood line though. That's a big idle time for VortiX. B, without any losses, it gets out.
Yeah, without any counter damage, it feels alright. You just got a little bit of idle time, you got the villagers to get a little spooked, and now you might even get a charge off and take a villager with you. One of the villagers getting dangerously low, but the Ghazis are in position and making quick work of them. And now the reinforcements arriving to cut off the reinforcements of VortiX. Now, what I want you guys to keep in mind is, yes, this looks like VortiX has an insane army, but most of that army is also in scholars. The scholars, they look great, but the healing is not that fantastic when you're up against a bunch of armored units here. Now, the spearman numbers, he slowed down on them. Makes sense. You're up against mostly spears.
Oh, met by spearmen. Oh, sorry, I was excited for some villager kills.
Oh, but these horses soaking up a lot of damage here. Archers getting some good pick-offs, and the Karashas made out of paper, so they melt pretty quickly with any little bit of fire. Now, with all of these scholars, he hasn't lost too many. Now, he's constantly out on the map trying to stop the sacred side decapping from being too heavy on the gold income just not coming in anymore. He is doing an amazing job at that. He makes a kebab disgusting. These spears on the Delhi side. But there's a front fight as well.
Let's look at the main fight. Oh, the archers are picking the spearmen apart. What are those? Those are villagers fighting. Those are like 10 villagers in the battlefield. The Keshiks are charging on them, and the other Keshiks with Torgus are jumping on the rest of the army from VortiX. This is going to be a catastrophe for B. The Han is also there providing the attack bonus to all those Torgus and Keshiks with the spearmen, and B is also adding the archers, and the spears are kind of out of position in the north side, and this is a full rout from VortiX, and what those villagers were doing there, that has to be a misclick that happened there. But now, all said and done, B actually decapped the sacred sites while that was all happening before, and now VortiX capturing one more.
B is completely unshaken. This is wild to see from the man. He is everywhere at the same time and doing an amazing job at it. VortiX making sure to just give B another set of fighting chance as he rallied those villagers to the wrong position. But it shows you, even VortiX, someone who's an absolute master of the micro, can make a mistake. And Twitch chat, that's why it's okay that all of you are on gold. So don't worry, it happens to the best of us. If VortiX can't be perfect, you don't have to be perfect either. But these low HP villagers, they are definitely going to be sitting ducks with all this mobility, just running around trying to take a fight.
Indeed, and now we see Keshiks again with Han and Torguts are attacking on this very push here, finally managing to kill another villager. It's the total 3 right now. The army value is very much in VortiX's favor, but again, as you said, the scholars are the most of that army. Well, considerable amount of that army are them. And B, I think he's on like 4 stockyards already.
Ooh, this feels
Yeah,
good.
or
5 even.
5 actually.
That is amazing.
That's amazing. That's like, you can consider that. Ooh, the archers are getting caught off guard, but spears helping just in time. That's going to help a lot with the rest of the game. That's like Malian type of income. They're never gonna stop. There's just farms. That's a lot of farms. Like 5 of them times 4. That's like 20 villagers on farms. Almost. Like you could almost call that 20 villagers on farms. So the time is on B's favor here, I think. But VortiX is looking to push in and use his military advantage, military numbers on B's base. He's not afraid of this fortified outpost.
But he
What
might
do you
have
think
to be.
Yeah.
No, this is something we see time and time again from people looking at these fortified outposts and saying, all right, I got this. But every single time it comes back and it's like, hey, you don't got this. And this is exactly what's happening here. The fortified outpost is doing work. And even though B is doing a decent job at surviving and VortiX getting a lot of kills on the military, he's just bleeding units. And the problem is, these bleeding units is not the same as B bleeding units, just because of what you mentioned here. The stockyards fully set up. Delhi, not a farm in sight. Bunch of hungry villagers desperately chopping some wood, and we are going to see the saddest Delhi farms come on out pretty soon. I said that, and he's like, actually, no, I'm not ready. I'm going straight for the berries, and hope that's going to be fine. But there's a little visiting party.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Oh, B is so on point in this game.
The food welcoming party is in session. B reads this game like a map written in Russian because he's Russian and he reads Russian perfectly, I assume. So this man...
No,
never mind.
That's such a
It was Belarusian. He didn't read it
no.
perfectly. Oh no, I made a grammar mistake in the mix. But they will
No.
see a little bit of other activity happening.
Well, VortiX though, that's a big red blob walking towards B's base, and that's a lot of army, even though some of them, or most of them, are scholars. B is struggling to keep up his military numbers as high as VortiX, and the archer trade-off is happening, and now VortiX pulled forward some scholars as well to help with this dive, and maybe, just maybe, he has enough. B is trying his best to cut off some reinforcements and trying to jump on this army. Fortified outpost is still up and firing down. And Han, I think, is in the main fight. Yeah, providing now the attack bonus.
Sassy.
And a lot of courage. Yes.
He did it again! No! He did it again. He trusted himself under this tower. This is... I know it might look fine, but this is not fine. He just lost so many units. And you can see B has so much more in queue. Sure, VortiX has the Ghazis, but with the stockyard.
Oh, now that's a lot of stockyards. Like, he... with the right amount of production soon, he can just defend this and then push back, I think. And fortified outpost is still there. It's not going down, and there's no more units that can tank it. No more spears, no more Ghazis. Even the scholars are just going down, and this is going to be just cleanup for B sometime soon. The army numbers, I know it's looking rough for B right now, but he has 4 Keshiks in queue and 4 archers in queue. And more Torguds will be on the way. And remember, Torguds, they're just like kind of infinite for him. They're just made mostly out of stone. So he can afford this. He can keep doing this.
Rock
honestly,
solid.
like for rock solid, yeah. That's 14 scholars for VortiX's army. Like, they're getting... He's on 3 sector size though. That's scary. And he's going to Castle Age by dropping farms. That's scary. Okay, take that back.
Now, you will say it's scary, but the problem is he's going to age up. And behind this B says, I could age up, but I'm still making units, still investing in Karashi. He's got the extra food. and getting that extra bit of production buildings up and running. So the Sacred Site victory at 8.5 minutes, it might look scary, but at the same time, this is just a bunch of archers that aren't going to deal too well with these Keshiks that are coming out. And VortiX, now going up with the House of Learning, he might go up, but Delhi takes forever. So these upgrades are going to take about a millennium to really kick in. B, on the other hand, he's going up, and he's also going to take a while to age up. But at the same time, I feel like his mobility that he's shown us time and time again is just going to be able to punish so much harder. Yeah, look at all that food. Sassy. Come on. That's 1,500 food per minute. That won't get interrupted.
Yeah, he needs a lot of time to hold against maybe men at arms, maybe lancers, and maybe elephants from VortiX, because VortiX knows he's on a lot of stockyards, right? And he knows what's gonna happen if he lets this keep going, because he will be. This is Gorge. It's very open. All these stockyards can mean one thing, and that's a lot of cavalry raiding on VortiX's side. And with elephants, you don't want to be in that situation, I think. And he needs to try to make something happen fast. And I kind of feel like I need to do a little correction on what you said earlier regarding the upgrades from Delhi. With 12, actually now 12 scholars, that will be quite fast. It should be, actually. It should be just a minute, like a normal minute. I think he doesn't have a guy. Yeah, he doesn't have a scholar in, but like on the other side, you can compare the blacksmith upgrades are going to be pretty fast. He just queued up the upgrade from the wrong archer range. That can happen. Mistakes happen. But the upgrades shouldn't take forever. It's I would expect him to have his upgrades pretty fast, actually, and just push into B's base with both blacksmith and veteran upgrades.
Sassy, I think you're so used to forever meaning that it's an actual forever, but 2.5 minutes and a 1.5 minute is more than enough time for Mr. B to be ready. And
yeah,
that's the issue with him having the scholars in the right position. You're sure.
Yeah, but if that was if that was the correct archer range, that would be like, I think, a minute.
And this
like that's
this is just showing
for being free, it's really good.
Yes. Oh, yeah, for sure. Because that just means more Lancers. And the Lancers doing amazing work here. Like you said, this is something that I don't think he was emotionally prepped for. These archers, if they were veteran. And again, guys, this is showing us that, hey, VortiX is playing almost perfectly. But just that one difference of queuing it up from the wrong archery range makes a world of difference. And just like that, 23 seconds, he might... Is he getting it before... No, yes, he's going to get his veterancy before VortiX. Even aging up almost 2 minutes later. That is crazy.
But that is 8 Lancers from VortiX's side, and all those archers are about to get veteran and +2 attack. The Keshiks are doing their best, but the archers... Maybe he just lost a lot of archers there. It's going to be a few seconds, and those archers are going to start to hurt. But remember, he has Muscovy Yasak, so he has +2 armor on those Keshiks already for ranged defense, and his own archer upgrade is coming in. And you can check the damage for those Golden Horde archers. They're basically like with Cruelty already having like +1 attack, and it's going to be even more once they hit the veterancy. They're gonna be like just mobile Cruelty with the Han. You see they're doing 10 damage right now, and that's gonna be suddenly how the tables have turned, and B is not going to be leaving this position with all that armor on his Keshiks and all those archer numbers. The stockyards kind of just carried him, and his mobility and he was just on point this game. He has played this game so on point, and now there is no turning back for VortiX. All his economy is going to be idled, and he's just getting cleaned up in his own base. Even with an elephant, there's some spears around. It's not going to be enough.
That elephant is going to need to perform miracles. Oh, the miracle was being built here with the keep. But this keep is just a figment of VortiX's imagination, as he's doing exactly what B's been doing to him, trying to pick off reinforcements. But unfortunately, these veteran Keshiks are made of steel and not going to be going down. But the keep does get cancelled, and VortiX not ready to give this up, though. With this heavy amount of army, he needs to find something, but the something cannot come quick enough with all of the villages, or almost all of these villages being idle, and now under the TC, these farms not going to be providing him with any source of refuge, and 2 more Keshiks just picking up everything in front of them. This elephant, it's doing well, but it's just not there yet. Poor guy.
It's just not there yet, indeed, and you can see collected resources is just gonna be in B's favor. Not only just killing villagers, he's also getting ahead in villagers. Remember, it's Golden Horde. Early game doesn't feel great waiting for a 2 villager, but more and more you just get ahead in the villager count, even if you don't lose anything. 2 elephants trying their best to hold, but it's just 2,000 food per minute. It's not gonna be enough for anything. Like, even if he cleans this up, next will be spears and crossbows trying to take down the elephants soon, and maybe not even that. Maybe this is even enough, because there are some crossbows there I can see. And yeah, beautifully played, and I'm kind of glad that I wasn't really wrong on Golden Horde being able to deal with Delhi, because Delhi is still one of the strong civs, and GG gets cold. I think it's not the top priority, because people don't really like, you don't play it on water, like you don't play it on Holy Island often, right? And there are a lot of hybrid maps, so the choice goes to Tuluk Dynasty there before the Delhi, so you don't really get to see it often, but I think on land maps it's very strong civilization still, and Golden Horde is just able to deal with them. Oh, speaking of water, we have Holy Island.
Holy Island, and I am so ready, especially with this matchup. We have French versus English. Now, French versus English. There are a few people that I do not want to see hold French in their hands. VortiX is probably number 2 on that list. So, seeing something like that, I'm already feeling a little bit scared for B, mainly because of what we saw with JD against Beastie as well. And even though Beastie was playing HRE, B, he gets a free unit, but the knights are just so scary and can be so overwhelming for most players. So definitely not going to be an easy one for B to take. On to our next game. We've got a little English in it against good old French. Let's see how these two battle it out. Now, Sassy.
Yeah. Yes.
English versus French. We
Yes.
can't see any crazy shenanigans like we usually see on land, where French just makes 6 million knights and overwhelms you. This is usually one on the water, right?
Right? Not
Question
really,
mark?
because you still need to respect the French knights, because, well, one thing, you get a king, as you said, but there will be knights on the other side, and that can be just constant production of knights. And here, if you notice, the wood line, the starting wood line that B has, is not as close as like standard maps. And more boats and more docks are going to be made. There will be a lot of villagers just eating through those wood line. And I would say it's a bit unlucky having the wood line forward, because sometimes it can be at the back on Holy Island against French. Like, you really don't want to be having that there. Because there will be some harassment on woodlines happening, both, like, this is one of the hardest maps to play. I think a lot of players can agree on that. But also very fun to watch, and sometimes very fun and very stressful to play, but there'll be a lot of harassment both on land and on water, so we couldn't say this is just mostly water. I think it's more hybrid than water.
When I look at this, you talking about this wood line, I already have some pre-PTSD, and I think Twitch chat, let's take a moment and close our eyes. You have chopped wood. The wood, you've chopped 4 trees, actually. Those 4 trees, they've been turned into fishing boats. Delicious. The problem is, your opponent is French. You know a faint memory of being raided by French that one time. And that one time, your villager got charged on, he broke his back in half, and he was dead. And you know this could be happening to you, but chop chop, as the trees fall down onto the ground. So do your villagers, all dead. There's blood on the floor, knights in your wood line, and you are absolutely cooked. But instead of that, B says, "Brother, have you heard of my longbows?" And he goes for the longbows. Sassy, this was not on my bingo card. We have longbows in this day and age on water when you have a king available to you, which means no healing. You remember that French raiding I was talking about? Usually, those villagers that dare survive, they can get healed up. Nuh-uh. B doesn't want that. He says, if you take damage, you deserve to die. And goes for a standard old Season 1 push with a good old barracks and a council hall. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Council hall indeed, and I like this council hall choice from B. I'm kind of glad that he doesn't just like blindly or automatically goes for the king, because it's just one unit, as you said, and he's not gonna be making any horsemen anytime soon. So also plus he's gonna get his own production, and longbows are gonna be helping a lot with the French archers in the future. Working well together with the spearman. Obviously he needs to have, but maybe he's a bit late. Maybe the first night he can defend. The longbow is there, and all those villagers, remember, they can use their short bows, and I expect all of them to be firing on that. Yeah, and the spearman just in time, defending. Just a little bit of idle time there. Nothing too crazy. So he has now 2 production buildings of his own, and he can actually start pushing away on VortiX's side on his gold and on his wood line. Oh, the archer ship harassment is happening, but needs to fall back. He's still trying his best to pick off one fishing boat there, trading his HP away. And now he's returning back to its own dock. So now B can... Oh, that knight is gonna be 1, maybe even 2 villagers gonna go down. No, it's gonna be just 1. Yeah, so...
That knight might be a little bit cooked for now. The problem is just there's more knights coming in VortiX. He's not looking at a one-dimensional composition. He's already going for archers. So usually Mr. Water VortiX is deadly. But Mr. Water VortiX with a knight or 2 in the mix, I am a little bit worried here for B. The second knight taking a very far run out. Now, we can see the spearman is in position. The second 2 now arriving a little bit later. But the boats are starting to cause a little bit of raiding as well. And I think this is where people usually lose it. You get into a spot where your opponent is very happily raiding every single part of you. And then, all of a sudden, there's a demo ship on all your fishing boats. So, this can go both ways, of course. But with this composition from VortiX already, he's being very careful about getting those archers in as well. And look at that knight charge. He gets out before any real damage can be done.
Yes, but this is a scary army from B. He just keeps adding spears and longbows, and he's looking to attack on land, not giving any breathe for VortiX, and he's about to be pushed off the gold because the second gold is just right there in front of the first one. And B kind of, okay, I'm not gonna get that morality. Oh, that knight has to be careful. I'm not gonna get that morality, okay, but I'll be just pushing you off wood and gold. And now VortiX is pushing on water because he cannot do anything on land right now. This is beautifully played by B so far, allowing the council hall, allowing all this to happen, actually not going for king. It's really good. And now on water, archer ship is gonna get focused down. VortiX wasn't paying attention because he's busy trying to make sure that the villagers don't go down against knights. And now B is also a bit distracted. And longbow's returning fire, and the demo ship is gonna connect. Oh, it connects on 2 hulks. That's massive. Oh, that's so bad for VortiX.
And you guys see me struggling with only 2 hands trying to observe on both sides. But this B, he's not looking at slowing down. With all those longbows in the army, he looks like he feels confident. But you have to keep in mind, VortiX is the master of the charge. And if he charges with those knights again on the longbows, it could be devastating. With the scout, he still knows that there's no more focus on the gold. And VortiX gets to decide what he wants to do with this, but what he wants to do, it seems he's not focusing on the water at all.
not, and then all those knights are finding the gap to attack on the wood line and causing a lot of idle time there. And archers are trying to pick off some of the spearmen, and the rest of the army from B is coming back, and this is not an army VortiX can fight. And he actually needs to be very careful which way he decides to go with this army, and all those archers are in harm's way, because I think B wanted to push towards the docks with his massive army that he has, kind of ignoring the land army, but now he has to respect these knights and attack. Meanwhile, where does VortiX get the gold from? I think it's next to the water, right? His own dock.
Yeah, wait, hold up, right there. Ooh, this is very far out. That's a very sneaky one to have.
Yeah, because B knows that there's more knights coming in, and there can only be just few ways, a few places VortiX can be. So I think he wanted to push docks and the gold, but kind of distracted by the knight raid now. Ooh. Oh, that was a knight got stunned. But VortiX just on point, saving those knights. Perfect micro from VortiX there, and kills 2 more spearmen. But now he has only 7 archers. What can he do? And B, beautifully played. Longbows, they do hurt when they shoot at anything. Even though it's knights, it's French knights, they hurt a lot. And they take down 2 low HP knights from that engagement. And on water, everything looks to be calm right now.
Yeah, these guys not wanting to fight out on water and on land at the same time. They're both respecting that micro that they know the other one can do so perfectly. Now, VortiX trying to remax this archer army. And I was going to say, try to snipe what he can. But with the quick reaction on the wood line, he pulls to a safe spot and goes directly for where it's going to hurt. Now we have a little bit of a base race going in here. Or I guess it would be a villager race. And the problem is, knights are a lot scarier in a base.
Well, knights are a lot scarier, but those knights weren't all full HP. But what is also scary, that short bows are making quick work of those archers. But B's army is not trading the base. They're kind of circling around that wood line there. He's losing a lot of villagers. He needs to be very careful with this. This could be a throw very fast. The town center is taking down the low HP knights there. Short bows shooting on those archers again, and his army kind of indecisive there a little bit, I would say, and now is making his way back. VortiX is doing his best with the smaller army that he has, but with better mobility. He's just using it to the maximum capacity that he has.
The armies will meet now, or they will try to meet, but the problem is, counting the legs, you can see there's a little bit of an advantage here. There's just knights that run fast and get out when they need to. And very importantly, they just spotted something, a little bit of transition here. Those knights, even though they are getting a very, very low, this might mean that they will go down pretty soon. Thing is, VortiX is already cooking more of them in his base, and he's cooking a secondary raiding party. So with this, again, keeping a portion of that army busy, while the next one is trying to land. And let's go have that double vision to see exactly if they find their value, because there's another night raid coming on in.
Yeah, and this time, all these knights, it's not 7 knights, it's 5 knights, but they are full HP, and there isn't enough spearmen on this side of the map to deal with them right now, and longbows are kind of distracted. B's distracted in base, and longbows were attacking the lumber camp there. If they make their way into that woodland, that could be really scary, but already VortiX killed a lot more villagers. And keep in mind the French town center bonus. Oh, the knights. Now VortiX is distracted. This is really taxing both players' APMs, and they're multitasking a lot, and like on water, they can't even fight on water. Plus, it's kind of really demanding to fight on water right now, but not just for their APM, but also for their economies. And longbows are trying to snipe archers out, and the spearmen trying to defend those longbows. There is some little man-at-arm there, but no more spearmen left, and longbows, they can't deal on their own with those knights. They need reinforcements really fast. They're doing some damage to the knights, but their numbers are going down faster than the knights' number. And now the spearmen reinforcements are arriving. Longbows are trying to snipe the archers again, and B is back on wood. This means there will be more longbows and more spearmen, more stable reinforcements coming in. But 1 second you look away and there's a gap which French knights are exploiting right now. This is such a close game and really tight fight here, but I think VortiX might have the edge with all those villager kills and the town center bonus that he had.
Oh, these villagers still very heavily on the wood, and you can see him realizing, okay, we need to reinvest. I need more units, and that's exactly what he gets here. The knights, no clear answer to killing them right now, as the archer numbers are just at a scary amount. Longbows just cannot keep up. Now the archery range being plopped down here at the front, and usually when you're building the archery ranges at the front, it's when you have the map control. But with these knights standing right on top of the longbows, that is definitely not what he has. Archers very quickly just sniping out every single spear they can find, and just like that, the moment the spears are gone, you are open for destruction.
Yeah, you're open for destruction, and destroyed value looks in B's favor, but the collected amount of resources in total just by far favoring VortiX at this stage of the game. It's just massive. That's also thanks to cheaper economic upgrades that VortiX has, and he's kind of floating a bit of resources, but he's about to win the game. So does that really matter? Because there are no more spearmen or no more longbows left. I think this is pretty rough for English to deal with. But B was very close. It looked very scary for VortiX, and no action is happening on water, and Guildhall is coming up. And now, next time the knights attack your wood line, it's gonna be veteran royal knights, and that's gonna hurt a lot more than the feudal ones, for sure.
And this is pretty wild to me, the fact that B did not utilize that English advantage you usually have on the water. He had access to the gold to get the upgrades and the ships needed for it, but he respected the amount of knights that were being made and realized he needs to find a way to keep up. The problem is just keeping up made him fall even further behind. Seeing this age up though, let's see what B responds. Oh, never mind. I was about to say it's either a tap out or yeah. He's like, all right, we got it. That was enough. Thanks, boys.
That's the response you get from aging up and after killing 23 villagers as French. And now next map we have Relic River HRE against Sengoku, and that was very close. Like you were saying, B wasn't using Admiralty. Of course, I don't know if he originally planned for it, or maybe the plan was to push on land all along, but I think he kind of respected the knight. Maybe we could say maybe VortiX didn't let him by attacking his gold and raiding him constantly, so he couldn't invest into water to use the Admiralty advantage, because that upgrade is very expensive and very well played by both players. It was a very close game, and the score is also telling the story here. They're both playing their best right now. I mean, that's my commentary on it. Of course, maybe the players feel different because after you win and you lose, you feel like, oh, this was so close. I could just, if I had just done this, I could just win that game. But now we have Relic River on our hands. And this time, B is not sniping HRE. I'm actually curious, what did he snipe this time from VortiX that allowing HRE? Because this is kind of similar to Frisian Marshes, right? There's some fish to be grabbed here and there. And Sengoku is one of the top priorities, which B actually banned it for VortiX, and that's how he got it himself. VortiX didn't ban it, and Sengoku is one of the top civilizations right now in the game. I think it's like one of the best civilizations in the game right now. Maybe Relic River is not the best map for it, but I'm kind of surprised that he's letting him play it. So it's going to be definitely an interesting game, because the winner of this game is gonna be on match point. So this is gonna break the tie right now.
It is pretty surprising to see such an even game here as well. And guys, I just need to download the map and then we'll head on in. I realized my game completely bugged, as production Whamen definitely did not check her maps before the game. So unfortunately, Relic River feels like a VortiX favorite map, because you can do some wild plays on this. VortiX is just someone B is wild, don't get me wrong. He's one of the most famous players when it comes to just being an absolute dominating man, almost everywhere. The problem is just, when you're playing against someone like VortiX who speaks reaction and overwhelm, that is, I would say that's his main language. And seeing this on Relic River is something that he's going to need to be emotionally prepared for. But we do see Tommy telling us that JD was sniped by VortiX. After playing against these French, I get why. You don't want to deal with those night charges. Those night charges are perfect every single time. But Sengoku hasn't been seen that much. Sengoku hasn't been seen because people have been banning it. The problem is just, this is not really a map Sengoku just gets to flourish on, because you do get punished pretty quickly by someone who might just be aggressive and sneak in and out of your wood lines. But guys, let's hop on in. Game number 5 is ready to roll. Ooh, Matsuri. Very far. Okay, so Matsuri, not a surprise. Don't, guys, hold up. Yeah. Let me explain my reaction. This Matsuri is very far out for someone who's playing against an HRE. And, oh, there we go. There we go. Someone playing against an HRE, you need to respect the fact that your opponent is HRE and you don't get to put your Matsuri outside the DC range. Otherwise, you will get absolutely destroyed by Spearmen. Now, it's borderline, but Spearmen here, they can make a world of difference.
Well, can they? I think B is just gonna buy wood and drop a tower there. Oh, he's going for Matsuri first. Maybe he's not aware that this is happening. But still, I expect him to be able to just buy some wood, and because this is a big investment, right? Like oh, he made the second Yatai, and VortiX is just harassing it instead of going for gold, and now he's on 2 spots just harassing those villagers, and B trying to defend against this one single spearman with 3 villagers, and one of them is low HP, has to run back under the safety of the town center there. And B is just grabbing enough gold, and I think he will just dip out of the gold soon. Yeah, he's just sacrificing some HP, and then after having those villagers are
spicy.
Yeah, they're spicy. Yeah, he's spicy in your words, and he needs to drop off some. Oh, 2 Yatai are being pushed back to base right now. That doesn't feel great as Sengoku. Maybe one of the Yatais could be an outpost instead of a Yatai on gold, but yeah, this looks a bit rough for B. A rough start for B right now, as both Yatais are being pushed back, and now there will be 2 spearmen just throwing little torches constantly on that Matsuri. It's a rough map for Sengoku, as you said, because there is never a back deer. You can get maybe a back deer on Dry Arabia, right? Like a safe deer or safer boar. Here it's just everything is kind of exposed, and that's the type of thing that you don't want if you're making Yatais, if that makes sense. And VortiX, look at that red dot in the south corner of the map.
Ooh, and this man, B needs to spot that red dot. There was a meme in StarCraft, by the way. So for those of you guys coming from StarCraft, there used to be a meme about the Terran civilization. Oh my goodness, the Terran race, and they had nukes. So with those nukes, you put a red dot on the ground, and then you see the tactical nuke incoming. And we would always say, "Does he see the red dot? Does he see the red dot?" B, coming from StarCraft, my big question is going to be, does the man see the red dot? And this is going to be tragic if he doesn't, because now 5 spears already. You might be thinking, all right, he's just burning the Matsuri with 1. This is not about burning down the Matsuri yet. You want to get the Matsuri a little bit later when it's gotten a bit of value. All he's doing right now is getting every bit of value he would ever need from these Yatais, slowing them down.
Speaking of value, yeah.
What is the new?
He's really microing the hell out of the spearman and almost killing the Yatai, almost trapping it down. He was really making them work for the resources he paid for them. And B, fast archery range to defend against these spearmen. And now, does he see the the dock and the fishing boats, and VortiX is going up with Mimer Palace since he has some extra bit of economy from the fishing boats that he has, and some deer maybe he can go on for because it's kind of close on this map. And more importantly, he's gonna be getting some upgrades very fast, especially against the Yumi from Sengoku Daimyo. I really like that because it takes a while compared to Japanese for Sengoku Daimyo to get the Daimyo plus a very expensive upgrade for +1 attack for your Yumi, which I think is more balanced because on Japanese it's kind of very easy to get a Bannerman out and get that +1 damage that Yumi normally lacks. But here, having early blacksmith upgrades against the Yumi can mean a lot for your army. Plus, you get extra damage for your horsemen and spearmen, obviously. And let's see how... Yeah, he sees the red dot and he's there. There is one spot that is not available for... Is that a second dock down there?
No, I was going to say, he would not be that wild. Come on, respect the VortiX sassy.
Yeah.
Now, with this, I love the fact that VortiX is committing to feudal, because usually, I say committing to feudal, he's still got 5 on gold here, and he's not making a plan with the usage thereof. Never mind, the man says, I just want to upgrade my spears. They've been serving me well.
Oh,
First...
Oh, the micro. The Yatta is trapped. The villager's repairing it though. Oh,
the villager's gonna pay the price. How dare he?
How? I mean, yeah, how dare he? How dare he out repair like 5 spears? What was that? Attacking Yatta. He was out repairing that, out healing that. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Now,
how dare he?
With B responding to this, you have a massive reaction to a dock. And the thing is, it might look good. You might be like, alright, so he's reacting to it. Exactly, it's what he needs to do. The problem is, with him reacting to this, it opens up another problem. And that problem is your base. Because now, this is such a huge amount of wood being invested. And not just about the wood, it's about the fact that you had to research siege engineering, which is not a cheap upgrade to get at all. So, he is going to be able to shut this down eventually. But the follow-up from it is going to be horses, and horses, they don't mind a few Yumi that tries to do a bit of damage to the spears.
Yeah, I like this ram play by B, but I'm afraid of what's coming from VortiX's base. Those are not just any horsemen; those are Mimer horsemen with they already have the armor as we talked about it, and that's only 2 spearmen in that ram, and maybe he will have to give it up. And he's even pulling a villager to repair the dock there, and the horsemen are going to be charging. There's nothing that can stop it. The spears are trying to do their best, but you need like a second or 2 for your units to be able to attack when you exit the ram. Back in the days it was instant and it was kind of disgusting, but now it's kind of limiting B's ability to defend this ram from inside. Let's just put it like that.
Now that second ram is again a massive investment. You forced your opponent to make a military ship on a limited food source, but now he's got mobile units that are most likely going to be hitting you where you are most vulnerable. And there's a lot of spots that are vulnerable. With the wood line being completely depleted here, this is going to mean a different angle. This is going to mean any type of aggression that VortiX tries to do might just be deadly. Shinobi being summoned, and this is exactly what you would need to try and win a fight, but the ship is so pivotal here. We see him doing an insane amount of damage to these spears, falling like flies, I would say, but at the same time, he has to respect, and the Yumis need to back off for a second here, but the horses are going straight to where it hurts. These 2 rams, an insane amount of investment, gonna be able to get the dock. But I feel like the fishing boats have already paid off.
Oh, maybe they have, because VortiX is going up with Regnitz Cathedral in his base already while defending all of this. And I think he could maybe defend a bit more if he maybe dropped off or repaired that archer ship. But that was very well played by both players. This addition of a second ram, realizing, okay, this is not gonna work on one ram, I gotta add the second one. So that's a really good read by B there. And now, how much of a surprise is this for B? that VortiX is up an age and he's getting steel barding, as you're pointing out. Those knights are going to have even more armor. Yumi are not going to do any damage to them, and there'll be, oh, horseman raid. That's gonna be 2 villagers going down.
And
Will be, yeah,
these guys, they're not even important, Sassy. He wants to sacrifice these horses. He wants them to get the attention. He wants to make B feel like, hey, I'm just gonna make horses. You keep making those Yumis. You're gonna feel like I can do something against this. But the problem is you cannot, because these knights are just going to hit that much differently. Now, looking at the relic situation, we have our brother bringing back a good old relic, and this is the first one he's going to pick up, but with the cathedral, this is perfectly fine for him. Now, with that first relic, going to be able to put it in the tower. Already getting the next one in position, and this snowballs out of control so quickly with B also thinking about going for castle. The problem is, when you're going for castle, you're not making units, and him making a unit here and there might just not be enough to handle these very chunky knights that are about to hit his base. More of them coming, and with this map, they can come from every single angle.
That is true, and those horsemen are kind of being thrown away since they were low HP, and he doesn't really want to bother upgrading them probably. But B is not too far away thanks to those Yatai bringing in a lot of food without depleting the food sources around them, which is crazy. He has enough spearmen to hold against the VortiX's knights and be able to get to Castle Age, but VortiX hasn't really tried to add... Okay, now he's adding the archer range. So he's adding the archer ranges now. What he wanted to do before that, I felt like, was to get the relics, and he already brought in one, and I see some red dots moving towards the relics on the map. And B needs to be careful because some of his spearmen were defending in his base, and at the front, oh, it could be dangerous. There's 2 knights charging. Very well reaction time by B there.
Now,
trying to save some of those villagers.
What is really interesting to me is the fact that he went for the Crocker Township, and we've been seeing people more and more go for the Sake Brewery because of that healing ability that you get as well. These villagers are low HP, and they're just going to keep getting charged on by the knights. Now Sake Brewery coming out, you know, standard, nobody's surprised here, but this is so exposed still. And oh my goodness, I feel like I'm watching a VortiX chapel that's happening here. VortiX has built his production buildings inside the range of the Matsuri, and this Matsuri only having a 15% bonus. 15% is nothing to scoff at, but it's usually not the same spot as you usually see them. Now B, he's got his 2 rams that he invested so much into, and after that dock, there's just no other value for them. Now it's just a reactionary man who's going to be able to get a few upgrades here, but VortiX, he's got the mobility, and unfortunately Whamen did not set up the second computer for this game, so we do not have multiple night raids at the same time. The VortiX, luckily for us, so far keeping them together. So Twitch chat, thank VortiX for this one. Oh no, I say that, and now there's a second group going downwards. He's looking for blood.
He's looking for blood, and B's food income just plummeted down. And where will he get food right now? Because VortiX is snacking on all the relics from the map, and VortiX is kind of having a superior composition now. Makes me kind of superior in terms of mobility, I would say. I mean, it's superior in any way right now. Those knights are going to be hurting those Yumi a lot. And B is going to add his own knights, but it will take some time for him to be able to catch up, and he upgraded his own spears now. He'll be able to defend. VortiX doing all this push just to get that relic safely back into his base. But the thing is, how will B be able to get the food going? Because, well, knights, they're the king of mobility, right? And mobility means that you get access to more food. And without any backup options for B, I'm kind of worried for him, but his food income looks very good right now. I don't know. I think he just moved on deer, right? I must have missed it. Okay.
Yeah, B is still snacking on half the deer here with his yatai, but with the front ones, he is just snacking for food. The man is semi-desperate, yeah, I would say. The thing about VortiX is, even with him moving out on deer now, he is already feeling confident about the economy, even without a farm setup going on yet. And I was about to say the only thing he needs to be worried about is Mounted Samurai, but he says, I'm not getting raided. I'm the one raiding. So let me show you how it's done. And the sake brewery, remember what I said about it still feeling a little bit exposed? And that's just the issue when there's not a huge set of towers around to keep them alive. Oh, you can see Mounted Samurai, they are not feeling like the usual ones that don't melt very quickly, taking a ton of damage here. But VortiX needs to pull back. He needs to be very methodical about this. With these shinobis, he's taking some pretty good trades.
The archers got slowed down there by the shinobi for a bit, and it felt like not enough archer numbers, but they're kind of traded evenly against the spearmen, and now VortiX's knights are gonna break havoc in B's army. Although he has some Ashigaru there firing down on the knights, but they find the gap there and just walk in on the army, and B doesn't seem to have the tools necessary to deal with VortiX's army right now, and he's even pulling the rams forward. They're soaking up some damage from the knights, but it's just too much armor and too much damage for B to handle from VortiX's knights. That's mine work coming in clutch there, and that early play from Water, that just allowed all of this to happen. And now having the relics that kind of just covers half the knights, right? And that villager is being very brave. It has extra HP. Let's just give him that. It has extra HP. He can do that thanks to the Sake Brewery bonus around it. And now B, I just expect VortiX to just run there and just cut him off food now. But he's back on for Mounted Samurai.
Now, Mounted Samurai is scary nonetheless. Even if you have a few walls out, but those Mounted Samurai, they just feel they're a different level of scary for most people. Now, with this outpost being a little bit better, with a nice little relic inside, there's no emplacement. So these villages are still, in a way, still going to be in danger. Now, luckily for VortiX, this is just a relic he gets to sacrifice. He's got 4 in the bank already, and he's looking for some counter damage. So right now, a nice little base race that B was not emotionally or unitly prepared for. Villagers now falling like flies. He gets a beautiful surround here on some of them, and the shinobis desperately trying to decrease the damage, and the damage is just still too much. Shinobis are doing everything they can. B desperately trying to get a little bit of stone here, and with 550 in the bank, it feels like he's buying a second TC, but he needs more. He needs something else.
Yeah. He needs something else. He needs those knights back in his base defending, and I don't know where the green dots went. Oh, they attacked in the base, and they kind of lacking the second ranged armor there because VortiX has a second attack, and the town center kind of melted them fast apparently, and now B has no choice but to call it. And VortiX takes the lead and is on match point now in the series.
This is a scary one, but VortiX showing us again and again, Relic River is his safe place. And guys, I'm skipping through the stats because they are a few minutes ahead. So I'm still trying to catch up with them while we are observing on both sides. So, ladies and gents, this might be the final game. VortiX looking to secure his spot in Serbia with his brother, as we saw Lucifron take down Beastie 4-0. So these two brothers, they came prepared, and I am so ready to host them at my house because we have big plans for these players. We have a spicy chicken wing competition. We have a milk tasting competition, and there's even a ping pong competition planned. Beastie bought a real tournament-sized ping pong table that he is going to use to challenge everyone in ping pong. Now, we do have an undercover top ping pong player that we're bringing in. I'm joking, they're not top, but it's not going to be an easy one. Let's just say it that way. So this is going to be the top of the top. How many people will come? 8 players, and a lot of memers and dents. So from that, you should know it's going to be action-packed. So anyway, ladies and gents, it's time for us to head into Cliffside. So JD and Macedonian, I'm a little bit worried for Mr. VortiX here because, oh my goodness, Macedonian today And every single other tournament, we are just seeing a constant parade of destruction.
We did indeed. Macedonians are one of the, I think, top 2 with Sengoku. Could be argued on like land maps. With the Sengoku Daimyo. And yeah, we have VortiX with Jeanne d'Arc though. That's we know how capable these Spanish brothers are. He actually just deleted it. He was preparing for potential spear rush from Macedonian dynasty, which didn't happen, and Jeanne d'Arc is gonna be making a meal instead now and going back to gold to keep working. And the wheelbarrow is coming in since there is no spear rush or yeah, spears are different from Macedonians, but no rush happening in Dark Age. And can I ask a question? This still bothers me. Did you say milk tasting competition?
Yes, we do have a milk tasting competition that will be happening. So we already have a prize, and you will need to be able to identify the milk correctly. Now, on Beastie's stream, we had a milk tasting competition, and Beastie is the milk king. He knows how to identify oat milk, chocolate almond milk, any milk. Ooh, I need to get some goat milk. I'm going to get milk from many animals and from many different plants, and we're going to have a milk tasting competition so that we can get the ultimate milk king. So, and there's a meme in the chat, is it Beastie's milk or Whamen's milk? Guys, the only person who tastes the difference between my milk and his milk is him. It's just milk. I don't know what this man is, but that's why he has a Beastie milk emote, because he's the real milker in the chat. So, maybe there will be a new milker, who knows? This sounds very confusing.
I can't believe this is what I was listening to for the past minute, but yeah.
We are very passionate about the milk, Sassy.
I am personally, but I would never guess there would be like a competition for milk tasting.
Are you a good milk taster? Like, do you know your milks?
I know I have milks, I can tell you that.
What does that mean? What the hell?
Yeah, I know. I know what type of milk I like for sure. I can participate in the competition, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Well, guys, now back to the drawing board. I think this gave people a little taste of maybe some AoE content they missed before. It could be just popping those villagers in to punish that scout. Disgusting. But there's a spicy scout on the other side of the land. And this spicy scout, he hits for 5 damage per hit. Disgusting. It's not a Malian scout, you might say. It is the Macedonian scout. And this Macedonian scout, he doesn't mess around. Look at him. Disgusting. Disgusting. Sorry.
Disgusting. And he keeps healing while being fired upon. But Jeanne d'Arc just leveled up and it's gonna be probably chasing that scout away. Whereas B hasn't really queued up any spearmen yet, and no stronghold is on site, and he actually moved on to deer. There's a red dot approaching there. I hope that's not a knight for B. That's an okay. That there he already has the outpost. Okay, and the harassment is still happening on VortiX's gold there, and VortiX is trying one more time to charge on those villagers, but he can pay the price by losing the scout there. Jeanne d'Arc is still probably busy defending his own her gold vein against this horseman and the scout, soaking up damage. But Knight says this is enough. You have to leave now or die, just like that horseman did.
And VortiX, all of a sudden, he feels into his bones and he says, "Hey, you're on deer, I'm on deer, because I'm the one with knights. So you and your silly little horses, you can get out of my base. I'm about to go to yours." But we do see, like, I put a little screen there to show the deer undeterred in the end. The problem is, the gold will not be untouched pretty soon. Those knights, they will charge in very happily. Ooh, he says maybe the woodline instead, but the numbers, they're scary. He needs to get into the spot. JD respects the horse life and stands ready, gets a little spin-off pretty soon. It's going to be a very juicy one to have, but the knights are standing at the ready to charge in themselves.
Yes, they do. Right now, there isn't much to do for those knights, especially on a map like Cliffside. But the more you have them, soon you will be able to attack any outpost defending any position if they're not upgraded. So VortiX kind of respecting the choices that are made by B early on in this game. And now he's being noticed on his own deer. So both players just going for cavalry and being able to defend themselves right now kind of looks like it's going to be a stale game. But I expect in the next few minutes it's going to be complete different, and B is losing a lot of HP on that horseman because he's making his own spearman, and soon that's going to be almost enough spearmen to deal with knights and Jeanne d'Arc or any outposts defending any position. VortiX is not adding any archers soon. Is that his second stable on the top right? Right. That's the second stable. Against two strongholds, and these are not any spearmen, by the way. These are Edgar matter, if I'm like not butchering. I think I did a bit of American accent there. But
You definitely did not do an American accent, don't worry.
okay. Yeah, I definitely didn't. But you know, the Americans are not really known to be like pronouncing things correctly. So yeah, I don't know. Cow can tell us.
Yeah,
Yeah, Cow is like, what? What did you just call them?
it's
And
okay.
oof, that's a big charge from the knights that are hurting. But these are not any spearmen. My point was now B's upgrading with arrow slits to hold the positions in another stronghold to defend, and add even more spearmen probably. The thing is, these guys have extra range, and they attack faster, and they have extra HP compared to normal spearmen. And they will attack faster more spearmen you have around, and that goes for torch damage as well. So I like B's position here a bit more, as long as he doesn't throw away them. And VortiX has the wood to make a switch, and the Night Raid is approaching, but maybe he needs to respect that and go back with his all of his spearmen to defend it. VortiX doesn't stay for too long. He kind of just leaves the deer from B, and now he will be probably notified by the presence of a lot of strongholds on the map and potentially a lot of spearmen. And maybe he will go for archer ranges now.
Oh my
Yes,
goodness,
exactly.
Sassy! You're sitting in is VortiX right there? Are you sitting right there next to VortiX every single time? But Sass, for a moment there, I was worried. I thought maybe is this Baltoon playing, because he was just going for knights. Even with the spearman numbers, he was not deterred whatsoever. But B, in B fashion, going for a castle age at a very opportune time. Now on Cliffside, I love this. I love this because Cliffside, you get to secure so much with the Macedonian dynasty. The castle age will hit so different, but very quickly we see some night sushi being made.
Oh, that hurts a lot. I think he was distracted by the attack on his outpost. Now that's a lot of valuable HP lost on those knights. But one upside is that you can heal them. You can heal them with Jeanne d'Arc. That's another point. But they're very low HP, and you need them to deal with the Macedonian dynasty's castle age. And VortiX is just charging. B's trying to slow them down. VortiX, that's the heal that you want right now. That's what you needed. And Golden Horde Tower is going up. VortiX may be misreading this. Maybe he's not expecting this castle age to come in right now. And B is dropping it a bit more safe next to this stronghold. Right?
Ooh, it changes his mind.
He's like, yeah, I want it there. I want this gold boar and the deer. We have been seeing this for the third time today. And does VortiX let him? He already has 6 archers. It's gonna be maybe a bit too much soon, but that's 16 villagers building that up. He needs to notice it right now.
Now, even if he doesn't, you have to keep in mind, this thing will house 15. There's still a little bit more economy that you get to raid. That's a wood line. That's a gold. Sure, you've got a stronghold or two to protect you. But knights, they don't take too much damage from a little stronghold fire. So, VortiX, I was about to say, the fact that B put this thing so defensively, it just feels like it's not B. And B knows he needs to trust his gut. The man has gotten so far. by trusting his gut. He should just do exactly the same. And this is something that's very understandable. But one big problem I foresee, and one big question I think a lot of us have not answered yet, is the dealing with a Radari. It's always been complex, but is it complex when you have 14 knights? JD though, ooh, she overstepping her welcome a little bit, but
Oh, that's
a
9
bias.
HP. That landmark hits really hard, and all three champions are harassing that outpost. Is really well played by B, because we talked about this. They're taking down the outpost, not only taking it down, they're gonna kill villagers, and they heal themselves. Kind of. Oh, VortiX is diving.
VortiX, oh, VortiX
B's
is
base.
diving, oh my goodness.
But not able to find any damage. B just completely split his economy. Oh, there's a lot of green dots walking on the left side of the map, and VortiX is kind of gonna deal with any damage that he can do here now, taking down the outpost and possibly the stronghold as well. But JD is dangerously low HP, and there's a lot of villagers walking very great distances on this game so far. B, half of his economy is kind of safe under the town center and under the landmark, but those villagers are really those are like Louis MT villagers, I would say. Like Louis MT is a type of player I really miss watching him play, by the way, just speaking of him. But this is very dangerous. Those champions are going to be healing again, finding free damage. Oh, one of them just went down.
And
That's great for him.
yeah,
Yeah.
losing the horseman as well. It's a little bit of damage that you get to handle. But now we see B's military count is not all that high, as he's had a lot of idle time and just wasn't able to produce. So the Radaris, while scary, there's not a lot of them, and the knight numbers are looking heavy. I don't think there's an answer in B's base right now that can handle this, even if they all had their Castle Age upgrades. But you can see VortiX, he's struggling for the food too, and being out here on the map, that's all he gets to do right now. The base very much undefended, the champion made yet again, but the knights, they still are looking for damage. But you see the Radari, it's being kept in place.
Yeah. Exactly, they're being kept in place, and VortiX not only has enough knights to attack and dive the base, but he also has enough knights to defend himself, being Jeanne d'Arc, playing as Jeanne d'Arc. Gets to make knights cheaper in Feudal Age, and so he decides to stay in Feudal Age and just not trying to do something very risky, just like B is doing here, trying to get to Castle Age and trying to get some arbs maybe. But one thing I don't expect VortiX to do is to go around and check that gold Whamen. And Jeanne d'Arc is very low HP, it's gonna go down, it's taken down, but those are actually 5 Ridaris. Actually gonna be 6. The knights are in position. I wasn't expecting VortiX to check that, because there is a gold Whamen under the golden horn tower, but he does anyway. He does go for that, and he kind of finds it, and now the search is on for those villagers that are stranded away on VortiX's side of the map. He's gonna try to get them to a safe spot or really well hidden spot. VortiX is keep looking for those villagers. You see the red dots on the west side of the map, just looking for those villagers everywhere, every corner. He's looking under every stone right now, but I don't think they're gonna be found anytime soon.
It's not about finding them at the moment. He wants to find them, don't get me wrong. But right now, he got so much idle time out of this. And the army backing him up over here tells him he might be in hot pursuit of those villagers as well. Now, with the scout being lost, ooh, that Radari. Sassy, I didn't expect that damage. That was disgusting. But it definitely tells you, hey, you're investing a lot of your units on this side. You know my knights are here, but you are protecting something. And protecting something, they were villagers getting a little wall up to try and stop the knight raids. And it works, but the archers are in position and they are looking at those Bogmagiers. Oh no, these are Adgermagiers. So what is the Bogmagier again? Oh, that's the archer.
That's the archers. Yeah.
We'll
That's
get
the
there.
archers, but kind of surprised VortiX wasn't really chasing all those villagers and units. I do not know why he didn't pursue them, but that's fine. I think maybe he was kind of worried for his own gold then, now that I'm seeing the gold is right there for him. And a lot of his economy is exposed, and Ridari numbers are equal, almost equal to the knight numbers, and the army value is very close, and all those Ridaris are running directly towards VortiX's base, and
Change
VortiX is also
direction.
counterattacking. They change direction because VortiX is just showing up. Now that he's castle age, he knows he has 30 seconds by the time those knights are upgraded, and archers are gonna be upgraded in a minute. But Ridari, they have level 2 armor, and he's getting the attack upgrade. I think it's called Romfaya.
Rumfaya. Ooh, fun facts with
Rumfaya.
SAS. Interesting.
Romfaya, I actually don't know what that really means. I haven't seen it, but Romfaya is gonna give him 3 more damage on his Ridari, which is going to be significantly better than the knights with the HP. But what did VortiX have? He's having Guildhall, so he's not trying to go for royal bloodlines. He needs to defend this spot, and B doesn't really want to give the XP to Jeanne d'Arc. Or maybe he feels like he cannot fight this. Maybe he's waiting for level 3 defense. I'm not sure. We will find out very soon. But some walls are coming up by B. I really like to see that from him.
Now, getting these walls up makes a lot of sense. You're playing against a very much aggressive knight player who is absolutely everywhere. But now we should take a look a little bit at what the economic setup is here for B. Now B, he's got a ton of Ridari. Ridari, super scary, but at the same time, both of these players with the knights and the Ridari, ooh, and now the Arbs joining the party as well. This is one bad fight from being over either way, but look at those dead villagers. Disgusting.
Just in the blink of an eye, that's a lot of villagers just losing their precious lives. And those walls, they're gonna stop them from getting trapped, but they're not gonna stop the axes being thrown at them. That's a very tragic way to go down for those villagers, just when they thought they're safe behind those walls.
After watching this man play Ridari, I can't believe I need to welcome someone who will play those disgusting horses into my home. This man is looking feisty, and poor VortiX, he needs to fight this perfectly. But JD, she's ready to level up, and oh, so close. One good Ridari hit away from hitting level 3, and honestly, those champions could make a significant difference, but the Ridari, they are looking for damage. The problem is just they looked in the wrong place. With horses just not having the same amount of vision, I say this, but those Ridari, it feels like they know where they're going. No, they're not. They are looking for damage elsewhere and just not in the right spot. But with this, the limited vision, it looks like B is trying to commit to something. He just doesn't know what that is just yet.
Indeed, while VortiX is making up his own ARB numbers, he's also getting some spearmen out. With Jeanne d'Arc's consecration bonus, maybe it's understandable that you get cheap spearmen if he consecrated the barracks. So he's not only relying on only knights or only ARBs, he's also getting his spearmen out. Maybe to soak up some of the fire from crossbows from B, because he's also, remember, Golden Horn Tower, not only really strong defensive landmark, it's only going to give him crossbows, and at this rate he's gonna get enough crossbows to start one-shotting the knights from VortiX, right? So, and there's a big raid on the right that can be very dangerous. If B has the scout champion there, he can kill a lot of villagers. He's going in, he's closing in there. Those villagers, good reaction time by VortiX. Do they pull out their axes? They do, but Jeanne d'Arc riding in front of the army, defending those villagers, and that was a very close call for VortiX there. And he's going for his own counter raid one more time into B's base, trying to find his own damage, only to be met by more outposts and an empty, barren base. Void of villagers, and Jeanne d'Arc is catching some of the Ridaris very dangerously in between them. On the bottom left we can see everyone, and the spearmen along with Jeanne d'Arc, they're chasing. But the thing is, Ridari numbers they're doubling the knight numbers from VortiX, and VortiX kind of stopped making any knights, and he's going for spears and arbs and spears and arbs. That's not what you see every day from a French civilization happening, especially spears and arbs to counter the other knights. That just tells you how strong the Ridari are and how active B is, just killing even more villagers, fighting more damage. This is so mobile because that's all his army. It's just mobile, and even on cliffside he's finding some damage, finding more villager kills, and making more way for himself, now thinking of getting relics
Now the problem
as
is
well.
this
Yep.
has spiraled out of control. JD, even if she gets a tiny bit of experience, oh, I say tiny, but that's a decent bit of experience. The reinforcements are so scary. The orbs feel like they will just melt under all of this. And the villager numbers, the villager kills are adding up significantly. Even with all these knights, Ridari are just outnumbering. We see 30 Ridari here. JD standing forward, taking a lot of damage, but again, getting the experience she needs. And it looks like this is the fight that might just decide where this goes, as these two are finally going to be properly connecting with the armies. Problem is, there's a little bit of a counterattack at the same time, because the Ridaris are made of steel and they can take things on the towers too. But the fight, this is looking a little bit close, as JD is taking way too much damage. The crossbow's doing a ton of work, but VortiX's micro is immaculate. Problem is just the front line of Ridaris are just so stacked. But VortiX's knights, the front line they needed, the spearmen in the mix. Is this enough?
It's not enough. It's never enough against Ridari, and the frontline Mel's VortiX was microing so well, using his archers on the crossbows and arbs just shooting all the Ridaris, but just frontline, his knights just melted. The knight numbers just went down for him extremely fast, and he lost even more villages as we were watching that. I don't know where exactly that happened, but B is up to 18 villager kills, and now the army value is not even close, and he will bleed even more units kiting back. Those champions are soaking up a lot of damage in these type of fights, and his spearman was also doing really good work around that gold mine and stone mine, using their extra range, and Jeanne d'Arc is just not enough. Even the arbs are not enough to hold their own against the Macedonian army. Is just very strong. VortiX felt very comfortable going into the fight, but just wasn't enough there, and now he's getting dived probably by those Ridari, and there's like, what is going to kill them?
JD is just a figment of hope, but there is nothing. And B equalizes this for us to go to match point for both of them. And honestly, this is the qualification match we were hoping for. These two battling out so close. It is an absolute destruction.
It is a destruction indeed, and for the first time today, and last time, obviously, we're gonna have game number 7. I'm very happy. Whenever I watch series between players in this quality, like VortiX, B, Lucifron, Anotan, Beastie, I am always cheering for game number 7. I'm not picking any sides. I'm always cheering for game number 7. So I'm really happy to get to see game number 7 and the civilizations for this last game. Can Tommy help us one last time about what is sniped? That I think he sniped Malians. That's my guess. Like there are 3 civs left, so B didn't really want to play against Malians more than the Ottomans. So that's.
That's a
But
big
I'm curious
choice.
what B picked. Like AoE in Sushi's Legacy, I guess.
We'll see in a second.
And
But
yeah.
Sassy, I'm ready to hop in so we can yap about it in a
Okay.
moment. And when I said double production PC up, it's very important that we go at the right time.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Yes.
my little bit of autism is just like hyper focused on it. So,
Yes.
guys,
Let's
we're
go.
ready. VortiX hopping on in with a little bit of red. And Ottomans at that, which I'm so happy to see. Ottomans has been an absolute force, but if there's one man who can show us how to handle it, I will put all my trust in the bee. Do you believe, Twitch chat? Anyway, Sassy, take us through.
Well, we have VortiX with Ottomans. It's considered to be one of the stronger civilizations recently by some of the players that I talked to. And even though their spy, their power unit got nerfed a little bit on the last patch, and VortiX is opening with one military school, the standard opening. And B, I think he knows this matchup on both sides very well. I think I played both civs against him, and he knows how to play this from both sides. I'm very sure. I'm not saying Vortex doesn't, but I've seen B play it, so I can. That's a disgusting landmark.
That
It's
is.
just distracted. That is going to be a lot of resources.
That's the landmark she tells you not to worry about. And you should be worried. This thing is...
To be fair,
Yeah.
I really dislike this landmark. I'll just make my commentary. It just depends so much on the map that it's kind of a bit too much for my taste. And Vortex, the first little spearman, making its way towards that position, reading it correctly, maybe scouting it beforehand, but it's just not in time to deny that from going up. I think they could rework this landmark to work a little bit more different, because this is just yeah,
Free
it's too much
resource
for my
landmark.
taste. Yeah, it's just
Sassy.
like what
Do
yeah,
you eat spicy food?
I do.
Okay, never
Sometimes.
mind. Okay, I was about to make a reference there, but no. If you can handle spicy food, then your points are valid here, because meditation, it feels like it's too good for what it is, right? Compared to the Zhangyan
True,
Tower,
yeah.
or are you not
It
a
is.
lover?
I think Meditation Garden is just much better. Like earlier on today, we saw Corvinus play with Jan and Tower, and that's not something we see every day. But he didn't make like production building, so he didn't get value, right? So it kind of ties you down for that. But when you have resources, whenever you get free resources, like Lancaster used to get, Malians do get it, you have options. You can make units, or you can tech up, or in this case with Sushi's Legacy, he can get a town center eventually, or get tower upgrades. Like, you just pick what you want to do with it. Whereas for Ottomans, for example, on the other side, you get free resources in form of units, so you don't really have options there, which is pretty good. Don't get me wrong, having units out is really good, but it's just, you're just tied to it, right? And Meditation Gardens is a bit too flexible in that way. To me,
Okay.
too much, a little bit too much. That's my thoughts on it.
Okay, guys, that was brought to you by Sassy's podcast on Ottomans, on Zushi. And honestly, Sassy, I feel like you're just biased. You are currently a Zushi hater because you are playing against
No.
your home civilization here. How do we feel
No,
about the
not
Ottomans?
really.
Yeah, because look at this thing. Unlimited food until the ends of days. And that's not really the issue. The real issue is the Istanbul Imperial Palace. So, Sassy, you are a total hater, and don't get me wrong, I'm also a hater. But the fact that you are saying this while we're watching a game with a civilization that has the Istanbul Imperial Palace, that is disgusting. And your judgment, it is now officially questioned. I hope you're happy with that.
Oh.
And Sapahis, what more do we need to say? What nerf
Well,
was that?
Sipahis are very good. I will say something in my defense. I hate playing against Ottomans. I'm just saying that. I hate playing against Ottomans because you're right. Sipahi are very good, and it's a very annoying civilization to play against. I give you that. I am trying to be as neutral as possible. I just think that the meditation gardens, I wouldn't be surprised if, if that was kind of looked at a little bit. That's all I'm gonna say.
Now, in most cases, when we are faced off against something like the Zushi, we need to make sure we can respond to anything they like to do. But what they usually like to do is they like to go for a fast castle, not usually make units. And Ottomans, they are great in feudal. Guys, you've been on ladder, you've played against Ottomans, you know exactly how it feels when the Ottomans military schools are stacked up. They keep producing. The blacksmith upgrades are pouring in. Both of you are stuck in feudal. And now you have to deal with a Mector playing the song of his people and just destroying everything you've ever worked for. So Ottomans right now, just this menacing presence is scary. But B, he knows how to handle this. He says, I need to cut off reinforcements, but VortiX is not making the mistakes he made before. He's not rallying his new units towards the front of the base. He knows where they need to be. They need to be in the base so they can safely move out together. So VortiX are reading this and playing it so much more methodically than we saw before, not taking any risks like we saw earlier. But this horseman switch up from B, how do you feel about this?
I like that. You have to have cavalry against Ottomans. That's like one of my advice to people, because, well, same with oof, that's a lot
That's a
of
big
HP
shot.
just taken away from that Spahi. Luckily, there are imams, but not only your horsemen are going to be faster than the Spahi, it's also in the early game, it's very crucial to cut off some reinforcements from the Ottomans, and later on, like, Janissaries are great, right? But we've seen this before. I think Anotan was one of those players that made it happen, playing a lot of knights against Ottomans, and he destroyed Ottoman army with the knight's charge, because if there are no spearmen, you cannot stop it, right? So that's one more thing. Sometimes it can be good. I like the horseman switch from B. Not a full switch. He's still banking up some resources, trying to get to next age, I expect him to, but VortiX dropping a ram right there because he sees there are 2 outposts, but they are upgraded by 3 resources. So maybe, is this a miscalculation? This is a big decision, because we're on game number 7 and he's attacking that outpost without a matter. I think it's on the way, going with triple composition, trying its best, but those outposts are not just any outposts. They are firing hand cannons from inside those, and those spy needs to be very careful. When they hit a lot and they hurt, and 1 ram looks like it's not going to be enough. There are 4 villagers inside that tower and they start repairing. The moment you turn around, start repairing, and Mector comes in and there's a lot of horsemen around. Maybe this is going to be a cleanup from B. Oh, the Spy are trying to hold their best. This is going to be so messy right now.
And this is the problem with the Ottoman Empire. You are dealing with so much different interaction on the micro. Now the Imam losing his life, the second one getting so dangerously close, and we will go down as the horseman finally gets that shot in. Losing both of those Imams is massive, and VortiX yet again overstaying his welcome under a tower. And it feels like this is now the song of a century. Every single player that has not respected these tower placements have been paying the price. The Ram showing us he needed a little bit more, but VortiX, he's playing Ottomans. The Imams might be down, but the firepower isn't.
It isn't indeed, but I think B overstayed there a little bit because he was out of the range of the outposts, and maybe it was something that he didn't need to continue doing. But now without a matter, without the Imam's buff, the Spy are still strong, holding their own, but it doesn't look as good as it did before for VortiX. But fighting long against the Ottomans right now in feudal age, even though he's rallying his units back, but he's still on 2 military schools and he's on Deer. I don't see B's. Did B professional scout? Did I miss that?
Yes,
completely?
yes, he did.
Oh,
he brought as much as he
okay.
could home, so that's why he was able to withstand most of that attack.
Then I really like his spot. Looking at his food income right now, after I just said that, and I realized he has that. You can tell already comparing the food incomes from both players, and his position is really good. He didn't go too greedy. He defended with what he needed, and he's even stealing some of the deer, or attempting to steal some of the deer from the Ottoman side, but nevertheless he's messing up with the deer pack there in the end, and he's even going for the boar. I think he's gonna put that some of that.
Ooh, MVP!
Happens to everyone. Okay.
But the boar is now officially the MVP. That was the first villager kill of the game. Finally, Someone dies. Whoa, the second villager kill's about to come in. B is angry. He lost that vill to the boar, but he's going to equalize it even better, maybe. But the archers are in position. They are going to be able to stop any villagers from going down. Disgusting. That boar is so far, yeah, the only MVP of this game. Wow. VortiX really using nature against this opponent.
Well, it's it could be called force of nature. And VortiX reading it correctly, by the way, he's going for that boar where B's villagers are. Actually, he's turning around, noticing 5 palace guards are on his deer pack, attacking his units there, defending that position from being stolen. And B has no trouble defending his own base with the upgraded outpost. That's where meditation gardens come in. And even though this raid is going to be very annoying for him and there's no units in sight, he can defend any position that he wants with hand cannon slits. Oh, that's a really nice pick off from VortiX. Instantly going for the Imperial Official with the Fortitude and killing some more villagers. And in return, actually, that was very well past 10 seconds for VortiX because the distraction caused B to lose and bleed out some more units. Now VortiX, hearing the age up, he's crossing the map one more time. You see the red dots approaching towards the green base.
And with that last trade, you can see VortiX was everywhere at the same time, responding to those counterattacks, and now looking at that wood line. But the thing is, he knows this. Does VortiX know that there's a healthy pot of villagers? Now it seems not, because he would be rotating downwards so quickly. Now the lances are going to start coming on out, but the problem is, this is a very scary attack. He's committing quite deeply to this. And again, the question is this too deep? Now with the archers, they're firing pretty heavily, but the villagers are not being picked off. And the TC is now doing some work as well. VortiX sacrificing a massive amount of units here. And it doesn't feel like it was worth it.
It was. Did you say it was worth it?
It was not worth it.
It was not worth it. It was not. I was like, oh, did I hear that correctly? I didn't. So it was not worth it at all. He was passing through those 2 upgraded outposts there, and VortiX has one more vizier point available for him, but he's not going to be aging up anytime soon. And how is he going to stop all those knights and palace guards, more importantly? Let alone the Jukunus that can deal with his spearmen. How is he going to stop this now? Suddenly, Ottomans are not looking that scary, and that deer pack is gonna be stolen by B. I think if I just expect him to just steal it, and Mehter just goes down, and Sipahi Fortitude activated, they will clean up the Chukunu mass probably, but there are no spearmen to deal with those knights.
Now, the lances...
Well, I say that, but they were very low HP. Oh!
He pressed the button. Now, guys, when someone presses this button, you know they are desperate to get that last hope of Janissaries. I say last hope, but behind this, he is going for castle. This is now just forcing his opponent to head back. You're getting a reaction from your opponent, but it does sacrifice a pretty significant part of what makes Ottoman so good, and that is that vizier point. Now, of course, this is not the only answer for him. It does delay. I believe you forgo it in exchange. No, never mind. I was going to say exchange for another military school, but no, you just...
Advanced Academy, you could say, yeah. In exchange of that.
It's a hit, but the right now benefit is exactly what he needed to actually stay in this. And right now is better than never.
It is indeed, and because if he didn't have those, it would be very scary against those knights holding that position, and even this position or next few minutes, which is going to need. And now Mehmet Imperial Armory is coming up, and B is defending, buying himself some time with the Vololo there and starting to grab some relics. And it's going to be just more and more palace guards and knights harassing VortiX, trying to pick up some more villagers, but losing more precious Sipahi. Now you would wish you had those Imams healing those Sipahi at that low HP. And now VortiX aged up, and what's the follow-up here? He had few minutes ago, he had 600 stone. I think that's maybe the nerves getting to him. Maybe he's getting tired in the game number 7. I think he sold some of the stone in exchange of gold. But now he will be up on 3 military schools, and that's his lifeline there.
Now, with all of these military schools, very quickly you can catch up, especially when your opponent is, at this stage of the game, tapping out the resources across the map. And now you have to ask yourself, what do they do next? We do see those Sabahis still causing a little bit of a havoc, but the main source here was the food. And that's what I wanted to take a quick look at. We see another berry patch being tapped out. There's a green dot finding its way through. The Sabahis do get cleaned up, but the villagers out here are still living their best life on the food. They just need to know that this is not going to be able to be done forever, as the next raid is incoming. But the Janissaries this time are in position.
Oof, that one volley from the Janissaries almost killing that one Lancer from B. Now, B finished the boar. He pro-scouted his own deer. And I think he's on his last berry patch, or not yet. And he has like one berry patch left that is very exposed in the north side of his base. Whereas VortiX has kind of invested into the military schools, and it will start to pay themselves for him. B has a lot of relics. I think he has 4 relics right now. Can we quickly check that?
Yes, we are currently on 2+2. Let me just quickly unshare the
yeah.
raiding group. Yes, there we go.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's going to be very likely to be 5 relic play by B, which is very good to have a lot of Lancers out. It's going to be crucial against the Sipahi to contest the map control out there. And that kind of puts VortiX on a timer, but again, he can grab some sacred sites in return, because he's getting his army is starting to roll. This is where Ottomans start to be scary, I think. On 4 military schools, I think I said 3 before. It should be 4 right now, and it's just going to be constant Sipahi and constant Janissary, maybe, if he gets the access for it. Janissaries and Spies will keep trickling in, whereas B kind of burned his fuel there, right? But the Ottomans is going to be just constant trickle of units from the military schools.
And the thing is, that little bit of safe food that you get, just a little bit of a berry patch, you always have enough to keep making vills, at least. So the farm transition feels a lot less harsh for Ottomans, because they don't have the same stress as you do with the other civilizations. Now, with this Lancer number, I feel like VortiX does still need to be careful, but he's in such a nice spot as the Ottoman. He's survived the weaker times of the Ottomans, and now he's ready to get into the pumping part of the Ottomans. Now feeling confident enough to pull 22 villagers out here on gold is pretty brave. Now behind this, we do see a wolf trying to grab that MVP spot for himself, but in the end, the boar will always prevail. Now, the farms, this is something B needs to think about. He is slowly tapping out almost everything. I was saying almost everything, but there's still a healthy patch of berries out here, and a raid group that wants to find some vills. Now, with all of this, it's a very scary amount of units, and I don't think there's anything that B has that can actually kill this group. So the spies running around, this is deadly in itself. That's deadly in itself, because that's 17 Spahi and 4 more in queue, I think, constantly from the military schools. And look at B's spear numbers. The knights are not there. Knights are out raiding, right? And you can see the green dots approaching from the north side of VortiX's map, and that could be a little surprise for him. But the crucial thing here is the Spahi numbers just keep adding up, and VortiX pulled the Great Bombard, the famous Great Bombard of the Ottomans. He knows that B burned his fuel, and he cannot have enough spearmen or knights to deal with his army right now. With the Janissaries added on top of them previously from the Vizier point, and he's defending this raid successfully. And now I'm worried for B. I'm getting worried for B's position, because the Great Bombard is going to be taking down these towers very quickly. And this Great Bombard choice of VortiX is telling us exactly what's on his mind. He's not planning on outlasting. He's not planning on saying, hey, I need to get Janissaries being produced from my military schools. He's just saying, I want to kill you now. So go ahead, kill some villagers. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter in the slightest. So that's exactly what he's going to be cooking. He's just going to be cooking a nice old push. And the problem is, B is now in that position where he wants to spend his wood on transitioning eventually. Now he's going to need to think about rebuilding a village, getting a safe place for his villagers to hide in. But at the same time, there's nowhere to hide when the Great Bombard and everything else is on top of you.
Indeed, and he doesn't have enough infantry to deal with this, and even if he did, there are 24 Janissaries are on the field, and Chikanus are scary, yes, but there are 2 Mangonels and a Great Bombard on top of that. So he's getting his own siege. He has 2 Nest of Bees and 2 Springles. The siege, I think, is the only thing that can make a difference for B right now. And VortiX definitely doesn't want to go to Imperial Age for this game, as he's playing against a lot of relics from Sushi's Legacy. I think it's 5 relics from Sushi's Legacy, and he means business. He's here to win the game. He's here to finish the game, win or lose it. He's not looking to fight this one out for too long, even as playing as Ottomans. And now Nesubis are firing on. Those are a lot of units grouped up in one spot. Nesubis are firing. The spy here attacking the... Oh, they're going for the tower, and they're met by the Lancers. They're not fighting this space. That there is a great Nesubi shot. The spy here are being held back by those Lancers, and Janissaries are kind of out of position. They're getting melted by the siege. The Nesubis, is this it? Is B holding this? I think if he holds this, he's going to win the game. And Great Bombards are trying to do their best with the Mangonels to kill the Nesubis, but he's repairing them disgustingly. But now the front line is gone. There is up for grabs for the Sipahi. That was such a close fight, and VortiX is doing it in the end. The Mangonels are firing upon the villagers. They're repairing the siege, but no one is repairing the villagers, obviously. And the Janissaries are melting against the Springles. The Mangonels and the Great Bombard, they are making the difference right now with the constant Sipahi coming in. This is such a close fight, and B has to pull back all the villagers and the Springles. He's barely holding on, but look at the food income. 7 food per minute. No farms. He can't make anything to defend himself anymore.
The villagers, though, the boys are pulled and they're going straight for the mango. Sipahis are going to be able to kill a few of those, but they go for the Juganu instead. The Great Bombard goes down and the push has been stopped. Surprisingly enough, the Lancer, it cannot be left alone here. And the units we've got, archers are not doing too much against that. The boys are still committed to this. They say no, no mango. But the mango will go down. He does get 1 single shot off afterwards, but all invade. Now we have a stone versus stone war here. B says, you may have won the battle-ish, but I will win this war. And B is not ready to call it just yet. He is making every bit of unit he can, even with no food, and a little bit of a farm transition happening. All the best to him. I wonder if he was buying food. Yes. Oh, yes, he was.
Yes, he was indeed, and rightfully so. He has a lot of relics available for him, and he's still alive. Surprisingly, he's still alive, but for how long? If he could get like 20 farms right now, which is he's adding another 8, so he's going up for 16 farms without granaries. He's still on Tang Dynasty. He doesn't have Song Dynasty to get the granaries yet. But does he really need? He needs food really fast, and he can't afford to go for Song Dynasty now. And the Sipahi raids are happening. VortiX knows where those spearmen that can hold him can come from, and they can be only here, back in the economy, in the pocket of the economy. And he's just eating those villagers one by one, as B is struggling to hold his own at the front, I think. And spearmen, they're here to defend, but that's a lot of bodies just went down. No one is winning the fight at the front, but VortiX just killed a lot of villagers. Look at the worker kills, it's 29 to 11. And on top of that, VortiX has still military schools up and running.
Now B doesn't care. He says 5 relics is what I need to stay in this, and 5 relics is what he's got. So definitely looking like... This is obviously in VortiX's favor right now, but B is not ready to give up, and he's going to make VortiX work for every second of it. VortiX has to ask himself as well, how do I get to Imp? And apparently it's a farm transition. The farm transition at the front of the base...
Look at the location of those farms. Like, that's a VortiX farm right there. Look, his second town center, okay, that's like your second line. That's, yeah, obviously, why not? And then his farms, they're like, just drop them right here. We just need farms. Drop it there.
The great
He's
migration.
not thinking of 50-minute or 1-hour game as we're making through our way on the 29th minute of this last game of today. Winner is qualified. Remember, high stakes.
High stakes. This is a 20k tournament for them to come all the way to Niš, Serbia. And guys, even though we do not cover flights, we cover accommodation. So all of these players, the food and accommodation, they will mostly be taken care of. And this is why it's definitely going to be worth it. It does pay your ticket plus some already for just qualifying. So it definitely is something I think a lot of players are looking forward to. And you can see, this is players giving it their best. VortiX and B going all the way through. We just saw with Beastie, he's like, I already live here, so I can qualify next week.
True, and that's a beautiful find for VortiX. One tapping those Springles, 3 Springles just like that, just evaporated as if they never existed. And, well, those spy are gonna go down, but I think they already paid for themselves as VortiX is mining up more and more villager kills. Can we compare the army values right now? With the Mangonels, I expect that to be very much in favor of VortiX. 5,000 army value at minute 30. It's
that feels
that
pretty
tells
sad.
you the story. It feels very sad, right? Like that there has been a lot of bloodshed in this game so far. Look at the collected amount of resources from B, but that doesn't tell us the whole story. So destroyed value there kind of gives us the hint where military schools have been really carrying VortiX in this game so far, and yet another Sipahi raid. 6 Sipahi is just walking up to the base, but this time they're deciding to go back, and Jangnang Tower is coming up from B, and VortiX, do you feel the pressure right now if you're VortiX?
Yes.
I mean,
This is, the thing is, VortiX, okay, actually, hold up. No, I do not feel the pressure as VortiX. I'm putting up all my food eco. I've got access to the big gold, and yes, it's a little bit tapped out, but my next move is Imperial Age, and I've got control of most of the map. I still have a big gold to fall back on, and I know my opponent is very much stuck inside his base, and that's exactly what's going on here. Ooh, no granary still. Feels a little bit rough, but the Zhongnyan Tower is coming up, and with Song Dynasty, and then it might hit a little bit different, but the Shaolin Monastery also, we're just going from one dynasty to the next, and wait. Oh, is this being timed correctly? Dynasties. Is this
I mean,
intended?
I think he will end up being in Song if it... Oh, that's a dynasty race there. That wasn't on my bingo card.
Dynasty race, add that to the bingo card list, guys. Okay, Song Dynasty for a second.
Oh, he stopped it.
Oh.
Yeah, he stopped it. He wants to end up in being a Yuan dynasty. And yeah, he's responding to those raids. And as VortiX, I don't think you're in the greatest spot. Sure, he's ahead. Sure, he killed a lot of villagers, but he has 0 relics. And he... Crazy to me, with all these raids happening, he hasn't grabbed any sacred site. That would be just some compensation for not having any relics, and maybe even put your opponent on timer. But he has a second town center already. Those spy are met by some villagers and spearmen. They just melted very fast. But he needs some keeps to hold the map, or look at his resources, or Imperial Age. Well, the keep is also coming up.
See, I was wondering if he was planning on going for a spicy little Seagate Castle, but no, the man is being responsible, and I'm really glad he is. When you get into this spot where your farms are this far out, you feel like, oh, maybe I should secure the area, but no. You know what's better. The Istanbul Observatory, if anyone has ever been to Istanbul, you know it's fabulous. And the landmark is exactly that. The Istanbul Observatory makes Ottomans the great civilization it is. If it wasn't for every single other landmark they've had, all their wonderful military schools, every single building in this whole civilization is the reason they get banned in every game. And now we're getting our Istanbul Observatory, which just means more units.com. And I wanted to see what was the last one he got. The strength of the empire enabled time prosperity. Villagers trained 75% faster.
Oh.
What? That is what he went for? I've never seen that being used. That's why I'm like, huh?
I would never, ever, ever anyone would make me go for that. I'm very surprised VortiX did that.
Bingo card,
But
guys. Add it to the bingo card, please.
Yeah, Pax Ottomana could be on a bingo card. That's how rare that is for me. Honestly, it's crazy to me he doesn't have the improved academy, because that's a lot of resources with 5 military schools and Istanbul Observatory, but I don't want to sound critical about his decision. He's way better player than me, obviously, but I'm just really surprised that he went for it. Because Ottomans are not one of those civilizations that are known for their economy prowess with their villagers. You know what I mean? Like, I just expect military schools to have more priority.
Yes.
There.
It would seem, and this is something where we can lean back on all the other pro players before this and how they would do Ottomans. But I think for him, this was probably just a way of staying equal when he felt like he lost a significant bunch, or just getting further ahead with that second TC that he built. So there's some logic to it.
Definitely.
We are just not smart enough to understand VortiX's logic behind this, and that's the beauty of VortiX. You don't need to understand him for him to be one of the GOATs. So now, with all of this farming eco, of course, B is feeling like, hey, maybe I'm okay. The problem is just, this is a significant portion of units in front of you. A lot of them still being veteran units though, so even though he's got the Imperial Age, it's just the Sipahis that are going to be leading this charge.
Indeed, and Meter just got sniped down, I think. That army is Meterless, and
But does it matter?
B doesn't matter, really.
I'm sorry,
right.
guys, it's late.
It kind of does matter, right? Oh, the bombards are trying to make their way on the mangonels. That's a big shot.
That is disgusting.
That's huge.
Getting a shot like this on a very squishy front and back line feels amazing. The thing is though, this is not the scariest Ottomans we've seen, because the Great Bombards, they are still making their way across the map. Hey, Great Bombard, we were just talking about you, girl. Making his way all the way to the front now. This is now going to be starting to be the Ottomans that we all fear. But B, you can see, he's pulling his units back as much as he needs to, and just fighting when the opportunity presents. Bombards taking over the life of a mangonel, but Great Bombard has something to say about that. Daddy Bombard wants to shut down the little ones. He knows what can change the game and doesn't get a shot off too easily.
Indeed, and B's bombards, oh, that's a big raid on his farms. That's gonna kill even more villages. He's modding up to 45 economic kills, and B never able to see 100 economic units. Well, he has some relics to fall back. Oh,
I pressed the wrong button, guys.
It's okay. It's okay. We misclicked.
Sorry, guys. You put the woman in the driving seat and sometimes she goes off course. Yes.
No.
I meant to press this button, guys. Look, surprise.
And yeah, VortiX means business right now here, and he has 1600 stone in the bank right now. Maybe he will drop some keeps up there. He really wants to win this game now. He didn't go for 6% victory. He didn't go for extra gold there. I think, like, I don't want to sound critical, and this is not my intention. It's just such a high stakes game. This is the last game of the day of this qualifier, and they need to make decisions very fast, and sometimes things may look like mistakes for us, but those players are feeling the pressure. They're playing against VortiX, they're playing against B, and it's not really easy. I can tell you that. I played against them. I can tell you that. It's not easy. And right now, they really want to finish it. And you can see how they're giving it their best, they're giving it their all. And that mangonel shot was disgusting, but that bombard survives. And that's like between two destroyed landmarks. That's a little alley that you don't want to be in against Siege Ball. There for both players, it's like a choke point, natural choke point right now with the destroyed buildings that they don't want to be there. They both of them, they don't want to be there. And VortiX knows he has the mobility there. Yet another Sipahi raid gonna happen on the farms. Great bombard shot. That's 2 great bombards now. That's a lot in the choke point on the opponent's siege. B is repairing his siege again. Missed the B shot, melting a lot of the ranged units. Maybe that raid from the Sipahi were a mistake. They're not being met by any units, but B is holding the main fight in his base and maybe even killing those 2 great bombards. That's gonna be costly for VortiX if he's not careful, but he's killing more and more villages and the food income is gonna go down for B one more time. And he keeps pushing forward, but Sipahi reinforcements, he has 15 Sipahi in queue, and most importantly, VortiX making sure that he's gonna win this game. He's switching to man-at-arms to tank for the Sipahi for the front line, and that's gonna seal the deal. I expect that's going to do it. Because he cannot pull up a lot of bombards. They're like great bombards. They're 4 bombards to defend against the siege, but against the whole front line, just like man-at-arms and Sipahi, there isn't much he can do right now because he's on 30 Chukanus.
Now with B coming in here and just trying to hold, he's got to ask himself the question, what can I make that can actually handle a great bombard? And right now, he's been doing a decent job with his own bombards. And I think a lot of people might be looking at this and be like, whoa, I did not know you can survive against this Ottoman late game. But surviving is a very broad term here, with that food income not putting B in a position where he can remax too easily. Sipahi raids from every single angle, and more villagers paying the price so quickly. The spear numbers, they are handling this, but he's pulling the boys, and the boys are ready to plump down a nice little keep. Ladies and gentlemen, you faced an Ottoman keep, especially with the extra bit of stone he has. He can decide to do anything with this. Let's see how many villagers are making their way through.
What are the chances that B just snipes it down the moment it drops the blueprint, like there, with all those bombards? That happened to me on the Berkshire Palace.
It's okay, Sassy. It's happened to all of us, especially in gold.
VortiX coming up. He doesn't have a meter, but now he lets man-at-arms tank for all those Sipahi, and using the extra range from the Sipahi, he's just melting that front line from B very fast, and the man-at-arms are making their way through the front line, and accompanied by the Sipahi. The Great Bombard is going down, and the SOPs are melting the Janissaries. They're dancing and trying to dodge the fire. But the bombards and the front line is just non-existent against the Sipahi, and that's what you need. You cannot have any ranged units against Sipahi because they will just eat right through them. And B is losing his chance for this qualifier to be qualified for it. The numbers just don't look great for him. Qualify for Homestead Cup. But this has been a crazy series so far, and it has been great. Both players played really well. They gave their best, and B is trying to survive, trying to prolong this game, but it looks inevitable at this point.
Now, with all of this finally coming to a close, I feel like we are putting ourselves in the nicest of positions to see what VortiX is going to put on offer there at Red Bull Wololo, making this look like he is prepared all the way. And now, Wololo is the nice little warm-up for Homestead Cup for these players. But B, he did not participate in that. We didn't see B showcasing his skills, but honestly, after watching this, that is exactly what we want to see. And B, in person, I think this is probably the most exciting, because all of these players that we watched today, or most of them, we've seen at live events. B, he needs to qualify. We need to meet the man behind all the craziest strategies that we've seen coming out of this game. Great bombards, trying to close this out now. 2 more in queue. You can see VortiX, he knows the value of this. He just needs to keep them a little bit more alive.
definitely. And with the performance we've seen from him today and throughout these qualifiers, I think he has been on point. And maybe it wasn't. Oh, that's a lot of spy gonna go down, but the numbers they're speaking for themselves right now. And with the amount of the spy are circling around, going on top of those units, they're gonna be melting them down very fast. And even under a Chinese keep, they can just hold on their own, and the great bombers are taking that down very quickly. With his performance, honestly, it has been. It could be easily one of the top 4 players qualified for Red Bull if he played that, and he's kind of proving it, and he will be very likely one of the top contenders for the remaining 5 spots after today. Remember guys, there are 5 more spots. 8 players will play in total. 8, right? Am I wrong? It's 8 players, right?
Yes, in this case we have 8 players.
8 players. 8 players will be qualified, and so Beastie is not out, Corvinus is not out, Demo is not out. They will be fighting again. Remember, next week we'll be here again as B is giving his best. Of course, you do. These players, they're all competitive players. They're fighting for every for fighting until the last drop. So, and VortiX is making his way through B's base with great bombarders one by one. He's taking him down landmark by landmark and building by building. He's brick by brick. He's taking his base down.
Sassy,
Literally.
you're constructing.
It's taking some time. They're slow. They're slow.
Yes. But honestly, I feel like when I play against the Ottomans, I lose a lot faster. So, be giving us a little bit of hope behind all of this to see exactly why Ottomans gets banned, but maybe VortiX is just impeccable. Now, he said very clearly, I would rather play against this than Malians. So, message received. So, definitely VortiX showing us some Vizier points we haven't seen in a hot minute. And now, looking to close that out, it seems B is giving it as much as he can with every bit of unit staying alive. B losing everything before he taps out. He's like, you're gonna work for this. 3 out of 6 landmarks, but he's not done yet. The meditation garden, that disgusting meditation garden we saw in the early game, just generating so many resources, but not enough to secure him this. And ladies and gents, we have our 3rd player qualifying in for the Homestead Cup and going to be joining us here in the house with GG Dog. And you guys know that is exactly what everyone's waiting for. Everyone's like, we are just coming for one thing and one thing only, and that's to pet the dog. And VortiX, he will be able to do so. Smooth AF. VortiX, you are now the next Chad joining us in Serbia. Your brother said he hadn't been to Serbia yet. Have you been to Serbia?
No, never. Actually, really looking forward. I always like finding out new countries, and I think it's going to be an awesome tournament as well. Seems to be so just only based on the qualifiers, right?
Yeah, already the competition quite tight. We did get Anatan to agree to shave his head. How do you feel about that? Will you be joining in on the shave the head party?
But I mean, I don't have a lot of hair to shave myself. Yeah.
All right. So VortiX, honestly, this was a roller coaster. I have not been at the edge of my seat like this. Okay, I must say, I was a little bit more on my seat when I was watching Beastie get 0-4'd earlier by Lucifron. But do you feel like you and Lucifron right now are pretty even in terms of skill? Or are you not giving that away for us just yet?
I think he's actually better than me right now. He's, I don't know, Lucifron, when he's on shape, I feel he's much better than me. I think well, I mean, not much better. I'm very good as well. But I think when he's on his best shape, I think he's close to the top 1. And right now, I think he's on great shape.
Okay. Oh, I mean, seeing the shape today, I'm a little bit worried for the competition. I know with Marine Lord joining next week as well, our top seeds are pretty scary. And it's starting to look like Top 8 is going to be super competitive. I'm honestly a little bit scared that the competition... You've seen this in previous lands before. There's usually a little bit of a divide of skill, but we have almost everyone joining in here. So in all of this, where do you rate B? Do you think that B is going to be qualifying next week?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think he's a top 8 player for sure, and I think Whamen and Papipo are not playing, so it should be... I'm not gonna say easy because the level is quite high in the game overall, but I think he should make it for sure. I guess if Marine Lord signs up, the top seeds are probably gonna be Marine Lord, Beastie, B. I think they're the big favorites to make it, but you never know actually. The level is so high that anything can happen. But if I had to bet, I would say B is gonna qualify 99% surely.
I'm so excited to see that. And I was telling Lucifron earlier, Beastie always makes the joke about him that he could be the third Spanish brother. So it's going to be nice seeing you three competing together or against one another. Let's hope the groups work out. But there will be some other competitions at the Homestead Cup, such as the ping pong competition, the spicy chicken wing competition. Is there any other type of competition where you think you could excel at?
I think I would excel at the spicy one. I'm actually spicy immune for real. I like spicy food, and like whenever I try some spicy food, I'm like, this isn't spicy at all. I think I've got a huge tolerance for that. So I guess I will win that. Apart from the tournament, which I will win as well.
Oh,
I can win both of them maybe.
I'm like, the tournament? What tournament? But yeah, Sassy, go ahead.
Well played, and congratulations, VortiX again. And that was very close series. I want to ask, because that's the last game I remember that much recent now. The ramp push you did was looking really very close. You losing on the imams very fast, I think, and the Meteor got sniped. I think that was a close game in the early game, but longer the game went, it just got better and better for you. What were you thinking? Did you think that was like, oh, maybe I made a mistake here with the ramp push?
I mean, I think the ramp push was kind of mandatory because if I don't do it, he's gonna have double tower with all the upgrades, right? Because he had like double stone in his gardens. So if I don't go for ramp push, there's nothing. Whenever he gets the 2 deer packs, there's nothing that's gonna stop him from aging up instantly. And because Ottoman economy is not that great, I don't think you can age up fast enough. So I think the ramp push was mandatory, but I kind of screw up. You know, there's something I always say when I stream and I play Ottoman to my viewers is you should never lose the imams, but then that's the first thing I do. I think from after losing the imams, the game was not in a good position for me, for sure. But then when I reached Castle Age, got the Janissaries, I secured the position. I think it looked good for me all the time.
Yeah. I just have one more question. What do you think about the power level of Ridari there? Because you pushed forward maybe a bit confident, having spears and arbs, and you had like 16 knights with Jeanne d'Arc in that game, but that just turned out to be almost a disaster for your army, just the big fight before the end. Do you think they still need to be tuned down a little bit, or do you think that was just a mistake by you?
I mean, I would have to check the position again, but I think I was maybe slightly behind. So if the game was even, I would have liked to see the outcome of the fight if I had like maybe 10 more spears or like 15 more spears or something. But I was idling all the time. I lost many villagers. So I think I was very behind to actually know for sure if it's a balance issue. But there's definitely some problem with the Ridaris and the upgrade stacking. It just, I don't know, when they get too many of them, it just feels impossible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. And those were the questions I just had in mind. And congratulations again.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, you two. And Twitch chat, I'm going to be posting some links in the chat so you guys can go check out. Firstly, if you want to help make this apartment cup, or the Homestead Cup, even cooler. Hold on. Stay right here. Let me show you guys something. Hold on. I have pants on.
So
So how was
How
the
do
day,
you feel?
Stats?
It was good. It was a lot of good games.
We had our first prototype, guys. We have a trophy prototype. There we go. I have
Oh,
a
wow.
trophy prototype. So, guys, it's not complete yet. This is the first one. We tested it out. But this will be the golden sheath.
Looks awesome.
Yeah, this might be a 10 out of 10, guys. I mean, very much inspired. So for all the hay in Serbia, so tested it. Oh, we test printed it. Low quality, but pretty pog. Anyway, so guys, in the chat, if you want to donate to the event, there is the PayPal address, or you can go right through our site. It will get added manually if you do it that way. There is the Homestead Cup with VortiX's beautiful face already updated. But ladies and gents, that will be it for today. And whew, I can't believe I'm tired from running there. Thank you for playing, guys. And SAS, thank you for joining me. Ladies and gents, that is all. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Oh, actually, on Friday already for those first rounds. So, see you guys on Friday. Bye.